education and political science. Actually has taught before. So he's an immensely intelligent guy that can just about keep up with just about anything that you go into a subject with. I'd love to have him, Bill, John. I mean, hopefully we can get him. I know he runs, middle times of the month, but I think with an early June, that would probably be advantageous. So I'm going to try to reach out to him for them.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Cool.
Technical difficulties on my end. My computer froze for a second, and that's why I popped out. Uh-oh, we got somebody entering the room, and we're going to actually...
Hey, so Billy.
Hey.
Okay, so we're actually going to join this program already in progress today. This is Beyond the Jam Episode 3, coming from your comfort of my living room.
And everybody else.
Southwestern Michigan. So I apologize for the technical difficulties a minute ago. Skaters, let's go ahead and do a quick introduction of everybody that's on, so that way everybody knows who is who. We'll start with my favorite female skaters, starting with Danielle.
Danielle.
Hey there, Danielle Pandline from Nevada Hot Ice.
And everybody's favorite aunt, best friend, Cindy Zimmerman. Cindy, go ahead. Hopefully she can hear me.
Probably serving her guests.
Yeah, I think she stepped away.
Yeah.
Yep, she did. Okay, we'll skip her. Sorry, Cindy, you missed the introduction this time. Don't leave and never come back, but, we'd like to have you around. Go ahead, Mr. Chili Powder Man.
It's Ray Robles, Illinois Riots.
And everybody's favorite bad boy of skating, the one from the other part of the Midwest, about 5 hours south of where I'm sitting right now. Go ahead, Mr. Weber.
Mark Weber, number 37, Nevada Hot Ice. Hot Ice!
Hey.
The World Wide Weber.
That's me.
Hey, man.
How you doing, Mark?
What's up, guys? Hey, Ray.
What's up, dude?
What's up, Weber?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Well, let's go ahead and get started with some questions as always. Since we're a little smaller crowd this evening, we'll just go ahead and kind of free for all the questions. Obviously, be courteous to the other people who's on, and don't be interrupting. But obviously, we're gonna. It's kind of a free for all tonight, opposed to last time where we had to be a little more organized. So, if anybody's got questions, let's just go ahead and get started. Danielle, being a skater, do you have any questions for some of your fellow skating mates here?
I don't know. Who still skates?
What was that?
Who still skates?
That's a good question.
I've been on skates off and on. There's a training center in Las Vegas. What's her name? Lolly. She has her own track in her own backyard. And they're trying to get another league going over there. But again, everything with the COVID and everything's kind of slowing down everything. And then, but so yeah, once in a while I'll get on. But skating, there hasn't been any competitions or anything like that since 2016. We skated against Team Japan in Santa Monica, but that was the last time I had any kind of roller derby style of skating going on. It's 2016.
Very cool. Very cool.
What about you, Mr. Weber?
He was on the same weekend.
I was on the same weekend with Brennan. I think that's the last time I actually skated any sort of competition. I put on skates, I don't know, last year to skate around a skate park for a second. It felt like I was going to die. But other than that, I haven't been really skating or anything.
Gotcha. And of course, Cindy's off selling Sensi, so we'll get back to her later. That was a joke, everybody. You're all supposed to laugh.
Sorry, I'm on delay, Bill.
What was that, Reese?
I said, sorry, I'm on delay right now.
Computer delay or brain delay?
Shooter.
Well,
It's a rough room tonight.
Trust me, Billy. After Michigan gets knocked out eventually, yeah, you'll be the one on brain delay.
I'm not a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
I
who
hate Michigan.
Let's say, who's a Michigan fan? Who?
I ain't a Michigan fan. Weber, I think, knows who I'm a fan of.
I mean, Ohio State. You can't be a Michigan fan if you're anywhere near Ohio State.
Well, you're Ohio State, so yeah, we know that. As many of you guys know, I'm in South Bend, or I'm in the South Bend area, so.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, who said Notre Dame?
Yes.
Yeah. It was RollerJam on Friday nights, Notre Dame football Saturdays.
Ray Robles, are you wearing a Washington sweater?
I bought this in Washington when we went for a weekend, and we went on a tour up there with me and Tony and a few other skaters, old time skaters, and I bought it off the street vendor. It was very cold that day, and I didn't have a jacket. But no, I don't
like the Huskies.
Yeah, no, I'm not into any of that stuff.
Yeah.
If it wasn't roller games or softball, forget it. It may be bowling. I bowled for 30-something years, but if I wasn't playing it, I wasn't watching it.
Man.
So, anybody got questions here? Come on.
I got one.
Bill, I got one. Actually, I'll let Raymond go. Raymond go first because I think he's got a question similar to mine. So he just dropped in the chat.
All right. The question is for Ray Robles. You've been working also not only before RollerJam, you've been also working with the old days of the T-Birds and the Rock and Roller Games. Which other skater from the old days of roller derby would you have wanted to work with on RollerJam? Who would you have wanted who else would you have wanted to, who could have been the great fit to RollerJam?
That would have worked well in RollerJam?
Yeah.
There could be quite a few guys, but again, a lot of us didn't get that chance. You know, a lot of the other skaters, because it took me a while to get onto RollerJam. I talked to Mark D'Amato, and I was calling him, and he kept telling me, hey, man, your name's always coming up, but they want you to move to Florida. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that, man. I just can't get up and move my whole family and just quit my job, because
very understandable.
Entertainment is not always a guarantee.
Right.
So finally they accepted that they sent me and Patsy for training for a tryout, and luckily we both made it. But I was flying back and forth, but there was a lot of good skaters that could have been great in RollerJam.
Right. I was going to ask again, similar to Raymond, was that a big stumbling block for the folks that were in roller games or before that with the T-Birds and all? Because I remember watching you guys, the T-Birds from all those Las Vegas games on ESPN mid '80s.
I started skating in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it for 36 years.
Yeah, but that is stumbling block though for a lot of folks. It's who may have been interested in going to RollerJam, having to relocate across.
A lot of the skaters didn't know about it. It wasn't really advertised for us older skaters. They wanted the young kids, and but I was persistent, and they finally broke down and said, hey, come on down, we'll give you a try. And luckily they even paid for that. They paid to fly us out there and everything. So it was for in my behalf, there was a lot of things that had to be worked out between us older skaters to the new skaters, because they didn't want us there, because we were on quads and they were on inlines and so on and so on. And so, but again, the few of us that had the chance to do it, we had to prove ourselves. And of course we did, they were 10, 15 years younger than we were. But we can take care of the younger kids just as well as skaters that were going against us back then, So it was a great thing that happened. It was a big highlight in my life.
Cool.
So we got a question in the chat from Justin. Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Mark Weber, what was it like to team up with Jason McDaniels?
Out if you weren't there.
Can't hear that good.
I think he's on mute.
No, he's driving, so it's not.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you.
Okay, sorry, I'm out in the boonies. My second day I was at tryouts, Jason showed up, and I knew him from back in speed skating days, and then like him and I just clicked, and
Mute again.
Then he went on
Yeah.
mute.
Yeah.
so it was like, I mean, it was, I don't know, I wouldn't say a dream, but I couldn't have asked for a better partner in crime during the whole time.
A great
So-
teammate.
Okay, since we're on the speed skating question, Mark, did you ever like run into your teammate Danielle at like skating races and competitions for speed skating at all, or was
No. I met Danielle when I was down there. I skated. See, I don't know how old she is. I'm 43 in 2 weeks.
Wow, you're old, brother.
I am old. I'm old. But all my skates was all north, up there north in the Great Lakes region. So I didn't really ever run into her. I ran into Debbie, Amy Craig, Jenny Matthews, Jason, Heather Gunn, all those people. I never had an opportunity to run against Danielle.
I have a feeling Danielle might have been a little more scary on skates than what we all realize. She was like the unsung speed queen that we never all got to know. She was only on for a few episodes. Do you have a comment to that, Danielle, to confirm or deny?
I came from a hockey background, not a speed skate background.
Yeah, so you're still.
So I was
fast on skate.
playing. I ended up being just a regular pack skater.
Gotcha. I have a
If I
feeling,
went out
though-
on a jam or whatever, I was going down anyway. I wasn't scoring the points.
Yeah, I think you should have been a jammer. It would have been more entertaining. With your hockey background, I think you
No.
could have taken some people out.
Yeah. No, they came in, and the training center that we trained in was where I was playing hockey. So they ended up buying that and turning it into the training center, and then my hockey was over.
Gotcha.
It reminds me of the rink in my town. I grew up in a town on Long Island called New Hyde Park. When I moved there, the rink in my town was a hockey rink. 3 years later, it was late 70s, so it's like roller skating was becoming big, becomes a roller rink, and then like 10 years after that, back to a hockey rink, which is what it is still at this point now.
I think I've heard
Well,
of
this
that
was
place.
a roller
Yeah.
rink that we played hockey in. It wasn't really a hockey rink. There was only one in town that was just full-blown hockey with glass and everything. Otherwise, we just played at regular roller rinks, and they put nets up and try not to kill ourselves.
Gotcha. So, okay, so there is something I gotta give a shout out, but I gotta wait for Mark to come back on visibly. So we're gonna go to Reese's question for Ray. Reese over here wants to know: did anyone ever try to get you with the chili powder? Which I actually know. I'm not gonna say who told me, but somebody told me it wasn't actually chili powder that you were throwing in people's eyes. It was Hawaiian punch packets.
Oh,
Well, it was between the Hawaiian Punch or Gatorade, one or the other.
Yeah.
I never tasted it, so I don't know. All I know is they'd hand me that bag before the game, and I took care of the rest.
Hey, Ray, I tell you what, you pulled that off so expertly, like the cameras could never catch you when you did it.
The only time that I think they really did catch it when I was doing the match race against Richard Brown, because I had to actually stop and take it out of the bag and the whole 9 yards. But that was like the only time that you could actually see it happen. You know, all the other times it was like because the cameras weren't on me yet, so I'd get it just in time before the cameras got on. But yeah, no, it was kind of, you know, it was what it was, but it was a lot of fun, and you know, I'd do it again. That's how much fun I had when I skating roller derby.
I've always said,
I'm not saying that there wasn't a lot of pain behind it, but I mean, I'd do it again, you know?
how did they get it out of their eyes after they did it? Did they?
That's their problem.
That wasn't my problem.
Yeah, there you go. That's their problem.
That's their problem. However they got it, I don't know. Or they kind of, they probably see me getting ready to throw it, so they probably close their eyes. But still, yeah, exactly. Just the thought of him seeing it coming, yeah, they'd flinch and close their eyes. At least
You probably do a slow motion of it.
Right, exactly. Yep. Yes, sir.
It's the way they do it in wrestling a lot. When they close their eyes.
It's all timing, and a lot of it is just happens, you know.
El sleight of hand Robles at his best.
Yeah. Yes,
So
sir.
our little hockey player up there, Danielle, I feel so bad for her after for the day that you've had, Danielle. So this is for all the skaters, including you, Danielle, so get ready. Who was louder voice-wise on the track? Patsy, Delgado, or King Richard?
Richard.
King Richard. For sure.
You think Richard was louder than Patsy?
I wish he was on there, dude, because I'd sure tear him a new butthole right now.
Call him up. Get him here.
Every time we get together for the roller derby reunion in Vegas, man, he talks so much crap about Mexicans and stuff. But I mean, I know it's all fun and games and everything. But yeah, no, that's just his character, you know. He thinks he's on camera every day. You know?
Hey, hold on here. I'm calling him.
Oh, here we go.
That's gonna be good.
It's
gonna be good.
That's okay, Ray. You missed it. He tore up Danny Wolf. I mean, bad last time out.
Oh, yeah. He did. He tore Danny up last time. It was great.
And a whole new one, may I add.
Yeah.
A new one, huh?
Well, after the whole thing was over last time, the last few times I've texted Wolf, I actually would call him Wolf.
Oh, really?
I
haven't talked to Wolf in a while, man. I call him up, but his phone never answers. He never answers his phone.
Well, right now he's in Vegas. That's why he's not here tonight. He's in Vegas betting on all the NCAA games.
Oh, okay.
My thinking is he might as well just flown to a casino here in Indiana because all the games are being played here this year.
Oh.
This is true.
Hopefully he's not betting the RollerJam revival money.
The odds are like 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, I know.
1,000,000 to 1? Are you sure? I'm guessing more like 2 to 1.
He comes on the next Zoom like, guys, I had it set up.
Right. Hey, if
remember that one night I went to
if ESPN can get the NHL back after 17 years, anything is possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I say, if Danny lost the money, do you think you say, guys, I might be in a little bit of a jam?
No pun intended, everybody.
Oh.
Hold on. Richard didn't answer, so I'm going to send him a picture of this right now. Letting him know that you're on, Ray.
He probably already went back to bed already. He's so old.
Oh! Again, it's a rough room tonight.
To who came in late, we were gonna do the watch along, but we were having problems with it, so we're when we were share playing it, so we're just not gonna do it. But we'll work on it, and we'll eventually get that. We'll do that one.
Mm-hmm.
So Reese, you had a question for Danny. Go ahead, and I'm not talking about Wolf. I'm talking about the kid that's in here.
All right, for Danielle, are you surprised anybody remembered that you were briefly on the Sundogs?
Yeah, I'm very surprised because I only filled in. Is what happened was when Lindsay Francis got hurt, I ended up filling in for her. So I was on for a couple episodes on the Sundogs.
So let me piggyback that, Danielle. Hot dice or Sundogs? We've asked this question to Jenny Matthews regarding the Quakes and the hot dice. Who are you more, a hot dice or a Sundog?
a hot dice, even though I'm from Florida. Nobody looked good in those yellow darn onesies.
Denise pulled it off.
There are more
Then
ways
she
to
went
one.
Right. That reminds me sort of
with
like
a top and long pants.
that reminds
Yeah,
sort of
Denise pulled it off until Sean Atkinson called her a tramp.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Dude.
I
Was I
still
gonna say that-
remember. It's
That
my
came the-
favorite.
That came the gold.
Yeah. I remember that episode where he gave Denise the yak attack and then the groin pull, and it's one of my favorite episodes of all RollerJam.
I'll tell you what, the male on female violence in RollerJam was actually a little shocking for its time. I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie.
You guys noticed that the fans that had attended that night of that game, they didn't know how to react. You know, they were in so shocked that we skated against each other that they just didn't even know how to cheer or what, you know, because if the skaters hit a female, they're like, ooh, what's going on, you know? But if the female hit us, then they love that, you know.
Well, as most fans would, Ray, when a woman gets to beat on a man. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like we didn't love it or anything, you know, but.
Well, that was definitely true when they got D'Amato.
Right, exactly.
Anytime D'Amato got it, it was entertaining. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question, Ray, real quick. Those the D'Amato fans that they had, the bikers, where did they get them from?
Oh, I can't even tell you, dude. I'm telling you, they were in their own different world, and they were. I mean, I don't know where they got half of the people that they used, anyways, because everything was so split up with everybody. Everybody had their little gimmick, and then whoever wasn't part of it wasn't even told what was going on. So I didn't even see those episodes being taped. So yeah, it was funny, like that episode they had with me with the chili, you know, the big chili, the bell peppers and all that, and you know which one belonged to what skater and so on and so on. We actually went to someone's home and actually taped that. They had a garden of chilies and all that stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? But you know.
That actually was the basis of my question, actually, because I remember watching that promo and I was like, now after that I was like, I wonder if anybody wants to get Ray back for that one, you know.
So
well, that episode before I had the match race with Richard, you know, that he was asleep and he'd be dreaming about what I'm doing to him and all this crap, and I happened that I was not able to skate that weekend before. And when I got there, Richard goes, you know, we're going to have a match race the next time we come. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, because I supposedly fired you. I'm like, whatever, dude. But, you know, you got to do what you have to do to get back.
Okay, so Jen had to step away for a second. She had a question for Ray.
Yeah, I could take the question. She's on baby duty, doggy duty, so I'll pitch in here.
So the husband's going to pitch in. The one that's the actual fan that, you know, never wants to.
No, I got her into it. She's just as much a fan as I am now, so.
Well, we all thank you for that.
Well, I make her watch it, so we watch them on YouTube. So it actually helps me sleep. It actually helps me sleep, believe it or not.
I could never sleep watching RollerJam.
But no, when I watch it, better time, better place, you know, simpler life. I'm like, God, dang, those are good times. So
yeah, and half the time, you know, it's so funny that when I used to show up at the airport, there was a guy that used to work in the ticket counter, and he was waiting for me because like he knew what flight I was in, the whole 9 yards, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, I've never had this before happen to me. And he'd have little tickets for a free movie on the airplane or free coffee or you name it. He gave me the little package. He goes, I'll see you tonight at the game. I'm like, all right, buddy, I'll see you then. But it's so crazy that people know so much about us that half of the stuff we forget what we even done, you know? And people are like, you remember when you did this? I'm like, no. But yeah.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I'll watch
line of the night so far.
I'll actually watch the games on YouTube, and then we kind of write down questions. So I mean, a lot of games aren't fresh in my mind, but
I think that's what a lot of us do, though, like to come up with the questions that we do, and and it's kind of, I've this has been like my big gripe because Danny and I talked about this on the phone. And by the way, Danny is in, like I said, he's in Las Vegas and he's not winning right now, betting on the NCAA games. So I told him he should just take a break from that and come on the Zoom chat and talk to us from the casino. But he won't do that.
Save him some money too.
But Danny, we talked about it, and it's kind of, I don't know how Ray feels about this, but I guess the show was centered around just 12 people, and then everybody else was playing like their bit parts.
Yes.
Like for the show. And that was like my like.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold on here.
Who's videoing me? Let's see.
Yeah, he tried to video me too. We got somebody that's getting ready to come on. I'm gonna.
Hello,
Richard. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
That's what I was hoping. That's what I was waiting for.
Hello.
Yeah,
Who am I speaking to? Sean Corbin.
Ray answered it.
Oh, Sean Corbin.
Tell Corbin to get on the link that we sent.
Ray Robles. What's going on, dude? Oh my God, you have a lot of static.
Is he in Vegas too?
I don't know. Are you in Vegas?
It's probably in the penalty box because of Hellcat.
We have a very bad connection.
Sounds like he's scratching
Tell
something.
Sean I just sent him the link by text message to his phone.
Hey, Bill, he says he wants you to send him the link.
Tell him to check his phone on the text messages. I just sent it to him.
He said he just sent it to you. Your phone. Yeah, he said he just. Yeah, he said to send him the link.
I did. I sent it to him on his, on his iPhone.
Yeah, he says it's on your iPhone.
Oh.
So, but yeah, we have a very bad connection. I had to hang up on him because we had really bad connection.
That's fine. Corbin, of course. And by the way, because Ray, you answered that, and because Corbin called the group chat on Facebook that we started.
Oh, he did?
Tim Washington answered the group chat and goes, "I can't talk right now." So in the group chat, this is a private group chat that I have for the skaters and John and myself to prepare for these. And so we're kind of breaking like the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
So Tim messages in the group chat, "Can't talk right now." So I messaged back in the group chat, "Corbin's a dork," and video chatted the group.
Hey, at least he put "I can't talk right now." Normally I just get a thumbs up.
I love it.
I'm
Where
not
do
gonna
you
argue
guys
with the
plan on
big
going
bestie
with
with a
all this
thumbs up.
in the future? What are your guys' plans of what? Or just keeping the group together, or?
Well, yeah. So
there's no reunions coming up or in the near future.
We're trying. We are planning it out. You let them know.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and we'll actually put this on the Zoom chat for everybody. As for an in-person reunion, I am up for it whenever anybody wants to have it. Obviously, probably Florida would be the best place for it because everything is open down there, it seems like.
Right.
We just I need a couple of skaters that live in the Florida area to help us, like maybe set up a room, like a group room rate for the hotel, set up a meeting room.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All that.
That'd be very nice to have.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on mute for a second. Let me see here. Corbin is a major dork, so let me put myself on mute for a second. You guys ask
I'm
questions.
sending them the links now. I'm sending them the links.
All right.
Yeah, send him the link.
Yeah.
I think Corbin needs to. Everybody vote here. We got 15 people in here. Lauren Miller just joined the group. How many people out of the 15 agree? Hold on here. How many people out of the 15 agree when Sean Corbin shows up, we have to send him to the penalty box?
Oh, 2 jam penalty.
That's a done deal right there, man.
2 minutes of penalty for being a dork.
Yes, exactly. You notice the only two that did not raise their hands was Danielle and Cindy. Shame on them for not raising their hands.
They were the goody two shoes.
Wait a minute, we need a rule book too,
nice.
just to really make this fun.
Yes.
It's like,
You want me to open up the rule book since you guys want me to open up the rule book and say he's going?
Or we need to set it up like the segments from the show. It's like, okay, how would you score this play?
Yeah, roller rules.
I don't think
we'll call it
Ray,
host rules.
Ray never got into the penalty cage, right? I don't think he ever went there.
Not in RollerJam. I was too slick, man. Nobody saw what I'd ever do.
Yeah.
I was under the radar, dude. I was under the radar.
They never saw the powder.
I don't think they ever
saw it coming.
Okay, so actual skating rink questions here for all the skaters. Everybody here has gone to a roller rink before. I have openly admitted that I got sent to the box in a previous meeting. I got sent to the penalty box 3 times. 3 in one single skating session on a family night because, well, I wanted to imitate all the RollerJam stars. So as I'm letting Mr. Corbin in, we'll
there he is.
Oh boy.
So okay, hold on here. We got to score the play real quick, everybody, as he's connecting to the audio. Okay, so I'm opening up the rule book here, and because Sean Corbin called the private group chat.
2 jam penalty.
Dude, you sent the link that said tap here to join chat. So I did that do. I followed the rule.
You didn't follow the actual link that says join the Zoom meeting.
But it says tap here, and I tap there. You can't say I did the wrong thing.
Of course.
Followed the rule, but you followed the playbook, though.
Leave it to the referee of all the episodes of RollerJam to screw up getting into the meeting and call the group chat.
And getting Big Nasty mad at us.
Yeah, getting Washington all mad at us.
No, not bad at all. My thing was, I thought you said 7. I didn't see anything on there by 7. So you sent the instructions out after 7 for a meeting that was supposed to start at 7.
7:30, which I posted on the page earlier today. If I didn't, you guys can all yell at me.
I saw it, Bill.
It was 7:30.
And he did say
Corbin's going to the
7:30
box.
Eastern.
So, okay, since we got Corbin on, since he's the referee here, I want everybody here to talk about their roller rink stories, their favorite, like, skating rink stories. Did you get thrown to the box for misbehaving in your time? What did you do? So on and so forth. I know everybody here has gone to a skating rink and done some skating. So Danielle, let's start with your story. If you have one, let's hear it because I want to get entertained by these.
I don't know. I didn't do anything about the skating rink.
You didn't misbehave? Ever?
No.
Everybody on here that thinks that she's BSing us, raise your hand.
I think she's telling the truth.
I only got put in the penalty box when I played hockey, but not when I would just like hang out at the skating rink.
Okay, so what you
Sean's probably the one that put me in the penalty box because you used to ref for hockey.
Who was it that put you in the box?
Maybe, I don't know. It's been so long.
Do you remember what it was you did to get put in the box?
I don't know. Flashing, tripping.
All the above.
Typical stuff. You didn't like back check anybody or, like intent to hurt where they give you a game misconduct?
No, because we played roller hockey, so it wasn't quite as violent as ice hockey. We didn't wear the amount of pads and safety gear.
Gotcha.
A little more humor.
I was hoping for a Happy Gilmore story.
Yeah,
where he takes off the skate, tries to stab somebody.
No. Oh, wait. Okay. I have a story. I do have a
Oh, that
story.
inspired it.
Here we go.
You did. So during a hockey practice, Edie, who used to actually be on the enforcers, she played on the same team that I did for hockey. For some reason, she wanted to fight me one day. I don't know. I did something, and then she got all mad. And then my coach, I think, sent her home.
Nice. So who won the fight?
Nobody. There really wasn't a fight, but she just got all in my face.
No. Okay.
And I was like, I don't know what I did. So that's my story. It's not that great.
Oh, that isn't terrible. It's good, but it's not.
I don't know. It wasn't.
Ray, what about you? What have you skating rink stories that got you thrown in the box?
We used to go to skating rinks like Sunday, like noontime. But again, my parents were always there, so that we couldn't do anything bad. So
okay,
my hands were tied.
My mom was there for my 3 penalty box excursion day, and my mom didn't even get mad at any of them. She just laughed at every one of them, laughed even harder. She thought it was ridiculous that I was getting thrown in the box.
Right.
Because I was the good child as a kid. Like, I never did anything wrong, and then I watched RollerJam, and it was all over from then.
Our skating rinks didn't even have like a penalty box thing for like a regular session skate or anything. They just would whistle you until you get off the rink for a while.
At the skating rink I grew up going to, the USA skating rink in Mishawaka, they actually had an actual penalty box that they could throw you in and put you in for misbehaving and doing things on the floor.
That's the first.
Yeah, it was a great feature. It was the way I learned how to spell penalty because, it's right there on the wall. And I made it my mission by the time I was too old to go there that I would get thrown in the box. And when RollerJam came on, I got thrown in the box 3 times in one day. So, John, do you have any skating rink stories of misbehaving and getting thrown in the box since we got our esteemed referee on?
Which John? Okay. My main issue, we didn't, it was similar to the rink Danielle described, we didn't have a box, you got sent off. My main issue was I was usually going too fast. Because at that point, when the rink in our town became a roller rink, I didn't have a lot of exposure to roller derby yet, so I didn't some moves or throwing blocks or anything. My thing was, it's like, I was starting to emulate Olympic speed skaters, and if I'd been a little more coordinated on skates than I was, maybe I wouldn't get. But that's usually how they caught me. Usually I was going really fast, and then I would try to take one turn too sharply, end up on my rear end, and then they were like, "You off." So that was usually my problem. It's like they would usually at least once. At least one time, every time I went roller skating as a kid, it's like that's what they got me on for going too fast. They usually caught me when I usually either fell down trying to take a turn too sharp or didn't take the turn sharp enough and ended up in the rail.
Nice. So Corbin, real quick, with that story, how many jam penalties is that for Zoni?
1. No big deal.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Aaron, would you got any good roller rink stories?
I honestly haven't been to a roller rink since maybe back in 6th grade, although I did rollerblade on the streets. And yes, I sometimes would try to do the Eric Slopey Pony Boy doing that. But yeah, that's it.
So, Brian.
Well, mine more or less was when I was kind of training with my best friend to come onto the show back in '99. Wasn't at a rink, but we kind of built our own obstacle course, and we were in upper hills and mountains, and he would consistently throw me into just about anything: trees, mailboxes, fences, or anything. If I get mad at him, he would yell out a skater's name, Tim Washington, Sean Atkinson. Hey, look, if you can't take it from me, you can't take it from those guys. So I more or less got thrown into a penalty area almost every day that I was training to come onto the show.
Nice. Raymond, any good skating roller rink stories of getting in trouble?
Unfortunately, my experience of roller skating was way before RollerJam. So and from what I remember, I was a very bad skater. I was skating with my babysitter, and I was skating behind her so that I could hold on to her. And but unfortunately, nothing for Sean Corbin to call a penalty or something.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, in some family roller rinks, you skating behind your babysitter could have whole new context. So, I mean, you know, I don't know. What do you think, Sean? Is that a penalty for him grabbing his babysitter from behind and skating behind her?
I don't know. I can make a penalty out of anything. It sounds like unsportsmanlike conduct.
One jam.
One jam is great. One jam's enough.
Anything, I will reward a power jam for that one.
That's Pandaline level.
What'd you say?
Pandaline level.
X.
Pandaline level?
Not stopping anyone.
Gus, go ahead with your good story.
I got no score because I never skated, so I can't get a penalty.
Hey, guess what? There's this button called mute for laughing about that. You just got muted.
Oh.
Reese, go ahead.
My skating story. Yeah, I'm just gonna be flat out honest. Yeah, my skating ability is worse than canine and disables.
Oh.
So do I.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, matter of fact, that's almost ejection worthy right there, because that's how bad I skated. And unfortunately, the rink that was in my former hometown, yeah, it was not a good place to skate at, because think of the worst bathrooms you ever saw on Bar Rescue and up that by 10.
Oh, God,
I don't want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's an overshare.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
Some of the training facilities that we had to train back in the 70s and 80s and all that, man, the bathroom facilities were terrible, man.
I don't even want to know. That's just...
Yeah. Moving on.
I'll tell you what, I probably have caused natural disasters that probably are comparable to what you guys are trying to describe. Let's go ahead and move on. Rob, any good roller rink stories of getting tossed from the building or tossed from the floor that Corbin could send you to the box for?
I mean, my roller rink didn't have a penalty box like you had, so nothing ever really, from what I can remember, ever happened to me there. But I do remember I was playing hockey at a birthday party once with some friends, and I do remember getting thrown into the box, I think at least twice, and I think it was for probably heckling the referee.
Heckling the
Oh,
referee.
how many jams? How many jams is that a penalty for?
Yeah, how many, Corbin? How many is he off the floor for?
Heckling, that could be 3.
Yeah.
And if it's season 4, that's the whole period. That's the whole period. It's just 3 jams in the 4th season per period.
It depends on how good the heckle is, like, because if you make me laugh, I'll sometimes let it go. If it's not very good, you usually get like the worst penalty. But even seriously now, still refereeing hockey as much as I do with people running their mouths. When I do the college games, a lot of the 16 through 24-year-olds, it's very hard for me not to laugh sometimes. So some of their comebacks are quite funny. So if it's just flat out telling me you didn't do something that I watch you do, and you're just going to call me names, well, then you're probably going to sit. But I've heard a couple good chirps that have made me laugh. That's for sure.
Okay, let's hear a good chirp that you've heard.
Mine were harmless. I was pretty young. I was probably, I want to say, maybe 10 years old. So It was probably nothing crazy.
So, Corbin, what is your favorite chirp that you got nailed with by one of the skaters?
Well, I would say really what happens every so often over the last 10 years is the word will get out amongst the younger generation that doesn't know much about RollerJam, but somebody will talk, and I'll actually have a parent or a coach or a player that doesn't like my assessment in ice hockey level that will yell out, "Hey, this isn't RollerJam." So when they're trying to compare my ice hockey refereeing to the RollerJam refereeing. So it's hard for me to keep a straight face when I hear people yelling stuff like that from the stands.
Do you ever turn around to the fans and acknowledge it and just like wave it off? Like, come on, that's, beyond, that's, old news, or is it just kind of one of those you just laugh because, it's funny? And
Yeah, usually it's just a head nod and a little bit of acknowledgement. I just kind of get a smile out of it and move on.
Nice. Lauren, do you got any stories, or am I going to give you the same fate as Gus?
Actually, I used to skate back in 2009 when I used to live in Las Vegas. There was a skating rink off Boulder Highway called the Crystal Palace, and if I was skating, I really wish I could skate back here in Jacksonville than in Las Vegas, but I really wish I could do Christian Salvia's Love Machine, and I really wish I could do the Screamer and the Eliminator on somebody, and that pretty much would have sent me to the penalty box. But I don't know what Sean Corbin has to say about that.
Nice. Real quick before she jumps off, Danielle is exhausted. Her 15-kilometer run day with alcohol kind of wore her out a little early. I'm just thankful, Danielle, that you made it on tonight. I know you look exhausted, so she is jumping off for the night.
No problem.
Have a good night, Danielle.
Thank you for joining us.
Night,
Thank you
Danielle.
for joining us.
Bye. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Danielle, I'll text you
All right, no
Lauren.
problem. Bye.
later.
Lauren, the Crystal Palace roller rink is actually closed as of last year.
Yeah, that's the one off of Boulder Highway.
Right, right there by Samstown.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's up for sale now.
Hey, Lauren, you're in Vegas, right?
No, sir. I used to live in Las Vegas since 2010. Now I'm living in
I was
Florida.
going to say, Wolf is at one of the casinos right now betting on basketball, so you could go harass him.
Nah, I don't think I should harass Broadway.
All those that think Broadway should be harassed by all of us tonight for not at least appearing on and saying hi, raise your hand, please.
It depends how much money he loses.
Oh, he's losing money.
If he loses a lot at his betting, then yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's set a number. What do you say? What does he lose over?
1,500.
Yeah, if he loses over 15,
1,500 is not much.
All right, 5,000.
There you go.
5,000.
Now we feel sorry for him.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, 5,000 is enough that we feel
If he
sorry
loses
for him.
over 5,000, we rib him.
25,000.
There goes a 5-team starter. It's gonna
It about depends. It's like I'm wondering if he had, because I just looked it up because I had the game on out of the corner of my eye because it was the first night session game. Iowa Grand Canyon. The spread was Iowa by 14, and Grand Canyon rallied late, and Iowa only won by 12. So if Danny had Iowa, we've got a problem.
I'm telling Broadway this right now, by the way.
It's going to be like the movie Hardball.
5K, the Zoom people are going to give you shit next time. There you
Tell
go.
them
I can't
Richard
wait
Brown
for the
style.
response. So who hasn't told their roller rink stories yet? Anybody have roller rink stories to tell of getting in trouble? Before I tell mine and I get Corbin to toss me out of the
Zoom session
from the game.
No, this is the whole session.
Okay, so
Hey,
Corbin,
real quick, I'm gonna have to jump here. I actually got my son at the hockey game. I stepped out between periods, but I will definitely join the next one. Like I said, I expected it to be at 7. I didn't see the link until after 7 when it was changed to 7:30, which is fine. But I agreed to take him when I didn't see the link. But nonetheless, more than happy to join the next time. And the only thing I'll kind of leave you with is you're telling the roller rink stories and penalties. I'm sure Ray will get a kick out of this more than anybody. But just think that most referees, the reason they're good penalties is because they've gotten them all when they were skating.
Oh,
that
is true.
It's in the box as I put people in the box, and we can leave it at that.
Okay, Corbin,
fair enough.
real quick. I'll give you the shorthand version of my three penalty session. The first one, I broke the block of a couple skating during open light skate, not during couple skate. So
I would have given you points. I wouldn't have given you a penalty. I was just giving you 2 points.
Yes.
Oh.
I knew you were good people.
You lap the field. You lap the field. There you go. That's 2 points. No penalty. I'm good.
Yes.
What else?
Okay. Second one I did was I actually did the Christian Salvia love machine on the floor. This is now remind you, this is during a family skate. So this is parent, kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old with their parents, their grandparents. My mom is sitting in the crowd watching this. What's the penalty?
Did you get anybody's phone number when you were done?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, then I got to give you a major. See, if you pick the phone number, I'd give you all the points you want. That's the whole point. But you struck out.
Okay. Does it count that the girl that I broke the block with 2 years later, I actually ended up making out with her for like an entire month on my couch?
Was she still with the guy?
No, she was broke up with him.
Oh, yeah, 2 points. But if you're still with the guy, it's like 10 points.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and then the third one, I actually did the Eric Slopey white pony on the skating floor.
I have to probably see it in the context. Sometimes imitation is flattering. Sometimes imitation is, hey, get your own move. So I see it in the context.
It wasn't too flattering. My mom was embarrassed that I did it, and they threw me in the box for it.
Fair enough.
I got a question.
Hey, I will say before I jump here, man, I appreciate what all you guys are doing, putting this page together, getting some of these skaters back in contact with each other. I mean, I've talked to a couple of these guys offline that I haven't talked to in a number of years. It seems like everybody's doing great, and everybody appreciates the time they had together. So you guys putting this type of stuff on, it's a really class move, and I appreciate it.
Okay, real quick before you jump off, Reese had one question for you. He said, how many times did you waive off points because someone was not supposed to score?
Integrity, man. I'm a referee. Integrity. I only call what needs to be called. If they stepped on the infield, no points. If somebody put their hands on it, call off the jam, no points. But now, no phantom points and no phantom call-offs.
Nice.
Awesome job, Sean.
Hey, I'm just kind of like stating the fact. I didn't really call off stuff that didn't need to be there. It's one of those things where, there's 13 cameras that were in the RollerJam facilities at any time. The producer of the show was actually an NHL producer for the Philadelphia Flyers. So multiple cameras at all times. What they cut to doesn't always tell the whole story. So the fact of the matter is there are times that it would look like certain things took place, but there was a lot more integrity to the game than often the skaters got credit for.
Nice. That's great to hear from Sean. Everybody give Sean Corbin a round of applause for at least making it on for a few minutes tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you,
Sean.
Sean.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
Best referee ever.
Best of you.
Best referee ever, indeed.
And soon as I know the next one a little bit more in advance, I'll make sure I block the night off. And
We are
all those what if questions or whatever you want to do, or if anybody wants to shoot me a message via Messenger, feel free.
I am going to I'll make the announcement now on here because this will go on YouTube for those that'll watch. The next one that we'll do with this format with a free-for-all, everybody get on, will be the night of June 5th.
June the 5th, got it.
June 5th, Saturday night, June 5th. And
Sounds good.
If you guys do not mind, I would like to start that one at 6:30.
Got it.
Instead of 7:30, only because there are 2 birthdays that will need to be mentioned on the air for that episode. One of them is a skater, and then the other one is one of the fans that is on the Zoom. I'll let you guys try to figure out who that is. There's one person that knows whose birthday it'll be.
Are we going to have cake?
We'll do something.
Virtual.
If we
think we can
Those
do
are the
something.
important questions.
Okay, hold on here.
No.
If you guys would rather do an in-person reunion in Florida, then yeah, we could do cake on June 5th. I wouldn't mind coming down to Florida.
We should probably try to set something up. June 5th, probably a little quick, but I think you could probably set something up as things start to open back up.
2 months, that'll give us plenty of time.
Yeah.
Sitting in the stands by himself. So I will catch up with you guys on the next go around. Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you, Sean.
Right.
Okay, so as we were talking about that, I see a lot of questions coming in for Ray. Jen wanted to ask a question for Mr. Robles, so get ready from
This is
Jen.
John's question, so I'm going to let him take the captain's seat
We're tagging it.
and ask away. Hold on.
We like seeing your face on there a lot more than his.
I know.
I've never heard that before. Wow, it's a new one. All right. Well, she'll. Okay. So, 2-part question for Ray.
Thank you, Jen, for at least appearing back on for the question.
He's always the most popular of the two, so it's okay. Okay. So for Ray, you skated in the original roller derby, RollerGames, RollerJam. What was your favorite team?
Hey, you name it, I was there.
That's right. You're a legend. Unbelievable. So, what was your favorite team to play on? Out of all of them,
I
and why?
skated for the Thunderbirds for 10 years.
Yeah.
And at that point, my role was being a punching bag. So when they trained me, it was more like, how much punishment can you take? And if you can't take it, we don't need you. It was just, that's so simple. So, I mean, I tell you, there was times where I'd go home with my head cut open and they'd give me a bag of ice and they'd see you next week, and I'd have to take myself to the doctor and get stitches and so on, because, the number one rule is if you didn't have insurance, you wouldn't be able to skate because they wouldn't supply it for you. But I think when I became a red shirt, I think the whole world of roller derby opened up for me because I was so blocked into what I had to be in the Thunderbirds that they wouldn't let me do anything more than what they had to ask me to do. And because I was raised to respect my elders, of course, you didn't do anything more. But when I became a red shirt, man, the whole roller derby family just came wide open, and people found out, who I was really being able to be and how I skated, and what I could do on skates. But that was my best time to be a redshirt skater, man. Even up to today. I mean, even skating with the Riots, and I mean, I don't think we were considered a redshirt team. I would get death threats. I would have guys tell me, "Hey, we're going to be waiting for you outside." And the first thing I'd say, "Hey, I need security, guys, because I'm not leaving this arena." But people took it literally. When you beat up their favorite skater, or you did whatever you did to them, people really took it serious, and here we are just trying to entertain them, and they wanted to kill us, In
a way, it means it's working.
Yeah, that means I was doing my job, you know what I'm saying? And
exactly,
it's funny because, I mean, skaters that we would talk to, basically the young skaters, we would tell them, look, if your name is not mentioned anywhere near me, please don't get into my circle, because I will take care of you. And I love doing it because I'm getting paid to do it, you know? But yeah, I mean, I'd send quite a few guys to the hospital, and I've been sent to the hospital, but I've sent quite a few people, you know? They learn the hard way.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's been a great life, man. Let me tell you, besides all the surgeries I've had, I'd do it again.
I think that's kind of, you know, I'll cross compare, you know, sports, because, you know, roller derby's your sport, Ray, and I've been I was a fan of it as a kid. I watched the Rock and Roller Games when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, and so I watched you there. And then I remember when you and Patsy came over to RollerJam, and it was like, oh my God, I remember these two from, you know, a handful of episodes I watched of the Rock and Roller Games, and it was fun to watch you, you know, 10 years after, when I was a lot older, to appreciate what you did then and what you were able to do, you know, on RollerJam.
Well, it's like the roller game track, you know, the one, the big figure eight, the one with the big wall.
Yeah.
That track wouldn't even give. And then we had butt pads, and I would still come out black and blue on my lower back from all the falls that we took. Luckily, back in the day, I was driving lowrider, so I could just fall in. I didn't have to get up into a car, because I wouldn't have been able to. You know, I just fall in and ride myself home. But yeah, I'm telling you, I'd do it again, man. But it's been a lot of pain in 36 years.
Rock and Ray, you mean, when you said lowriders, you mean hydraulics?
You know, my dad was a mechanic, and he wouldn't let me do that. He goes, I won't fix the car if you put hydraulics on it. But I did. I had them pretty low. You know, there was like 6 inches off the ground. But that's about it. I wasn't able to have hydraulics.
Hold on, yeah, Ray. Since you mentioned that, did Santiago ever chill with you?
Who's it?
Tony Santiago.
No, I really didn't have very many people that. I mean, the people that I hung out with was old timers. You know, Patsy, Stephanie, Richard when he would come around, and then, you know, Tony Trujillo, the base, you know, stuff like that. And we'd all go to a skating rink and stuff like that on a weekend and hang out and go to dinner and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, we've had a great life, dude. I mean, it's I like I said, if I was as young as I was before, I mean, I still do it today, but I know how much I'm going to pay in pain. But I mean, it just doesn't matter, you know, because you love the sport, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, you said you wouldn't trade it for the world, the injuries and everything, for what you did.
Oh, God.
And you know, that's kind of what I was saying with me with bowling, because I've been doing it for 15 years, or actually 22 years competitively. I started really being competitive right as RollerJam came on the air.
Yeah.
And started doing a lot of traveling as a youth competitor, and then made the jump to the adult world and competed with some of the best in the world that actually you can watch on TV now. And right now I'm out with a broken foot. Yeah, because
I also bowled, but I mean, I did it competitively, but not maybe, I don't know, was yours, you were on TV and stuff, or you just made your own tapes and things like that?
Oh, no. I
mean, I have a 300 ring also, but I mean, I had a good run. I had a 300, 299, 298. I had an 865 series, and I got a run for that.
865?
I'm sorry?
865?
Yep.
Holy crap, that's higher than my high series.
My average was a 210 average.
Wow.
But I bowled for over 30 years.
Nice.
I stopped doing it because there was so many sandbaggers out there, you know, I mean, that
still are.
I know they are. That's why I stopped doing it.
I've never made it to the TV round, but this was 9 years ago. I actually, my best finish in a major was at the USBC Masters in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I actually knocked out the then defending champion from the tournament. I sent him home in the losers bracket, and I finished in the top 32.
Wow.
Nice.
In the final standings. And that was it? That year it was Tom Hess. He was the defending champion. He won in Reno in 2011, right around Valentine's Day. And then we had the Masters 3 weeks earlier, the following year in 2012, in Vegas the last week of January, and I met him on Thursday night in match play and beat him in match play and sent him home when he was the defending champ. So
I was going to ask you that, but that answers my question.
Yeah.
Bill, it's funny you talk about defending champions getting knocked out because, and for those of you, since we're making fun of Danny and being in Vegas and stuff, I hope he didn't bet on Virginia just now because they just lost.
Oh.
Who did they lose to?
Now
Ohio.
we're
Ohio.
starting a league with 3 teams.
Hold on here. I'm going to send Danny a message.
Yeah, because I know for a fact my Tar Heels lost to Wisconsin.
Asking for Reese.
Right.
So Ray and Bill, a couple years back, I want to say maybe almost 4 years ago now, I want to say, I saw a guy roll a 900 series.
Do what?
You saw
a couple years.
That's where I
perfect
recognized your
series.
city from. That's
East
where I
Islip.
recognized your city.
Yep. He did it in East Islip. 3 perfect games in a row.
So you know Mike Room, right? The one that does the YouTube videos?
What was his name?
Mike Room. WUME.
No, I don't actually.
What was the guy's name that shot 900?
There was actually 2 guys from Long Island that did it. The first one that did it was Joe Navarro, which was the one I saw.
Okay.
And then I want to say a year later, Jeremy Melito did it in Farmingdale.
Okay.
I didn't see that one though.
So we're getting ready to have a very special guest jump on.
Oh my goodness.
Bill, just wanted to give a special, just an acknowledgement. I don't know, old time wrestling fans would know this. Barry Orton.
Yeah,
passed
he
away
just
today. He is the uncle of Randy Orton.
Randy.
Yep.
He was 62 years old. He was known for speaking out on Larry King and other medias during like the wrestling scandals.
I think it was Phil Donahue he was on.
Yeah, he was 62 years old. He passed away today. He had 2 stints with WWF back in the day.
Right.
Barry Orton.
Yeah, Barry Orton.
Cowboy Bob Orton's brother.
Yep.
He is the uncle of Randy Orton and the son of Bob Orton Sr.
Right. That would.
Wow.
Yeah. So
By the way, so to answer your question, Reese and everybody in the room, Danny actually took Ohio in that game, and he took the points. So he actually won that game.
They're good. Okay, fine. So we still have a 14 to start with. The new league still has 14.
All right. So that makes that probably that'll make up for if he had Iowa and got the bad beat with Grand Canyon, making it close late.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Ray Robles.
What the hell are you doing, dude? Hey, man, you know what? You look older on TV.
Oh.
How'd you guys get Don King on here?
Oh, I'm looking at it right now.
Damn.
My goodness. How are you, Lord?
In the famous words of most movies, there goes the name.
I'm doing pretty good, King Richard. How about yourself?
Doing good.
How you doing, brother?
I am blessed abundantly.
Hey, you know we've been there, man. We've done it all, brother. And we're still here.
Yeah. Well, I'm still kicking. How's everybody else doing today?
Wonderful.
So good, Your Majesty.
Very good. Feeling very good.
Pretty good.
Frank. Hello, Cindy.
She stepped away. She's got guests over at her house, so.
That's no excuse.
Hey, Rock and Ray. I got a question for everybody. If I was skating in the Demolition Derby in RollerJam back in 2000, instead of Mark D'Amato going up against you in the quad race, me and you would have gone up in the quad race. If I was skating for the hot dice, you would still play for the Riot though.
Until he got on my team, he needed all the help he could get.
Hey!
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, dude.
Boom.
Or I was about to say, like, Ray, you kind of had that one coming because you was kind of talking about the king when he wasn't on. So
Man, I tell you, I scared you.
What?
I scared that
Here we go.
that chili powder
Dun, dun, dun,
episode.
dun,
He
dun.
couldn't go.
That chili powder.
He dreamed about me for 2 weeks.
So true story. You guys all knew this, Richard. I told them before I sent you the picture who was on. Ray was talking some smack about you, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sending him a picture of you showing that you're on." And we were betting how long it would take for you to actually jump on.
Well, actually, I just got out of my hot tub, so.
Oh.
Oh, hey, you know, as stiff as your bones are, you need more than that time than just a couple of minutes.
Oh.
You know, the last reunion we went to, you were walking kind of slow there, brother.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Ray.
What?
Hey, Ray.
3 laps, anything goes.
You got it, brother. You named the place and time. Next reunion.
Hey, make it a 2-on-1 handicap match race.
Huh?
I'll watch it online.
Me and Ray against King Richard. The 2-on-1 match race.
Oh, wait a minute.
So how's the foot?
On what foot? Who are you talking to?
He know who I'm talking to, who had that foot operated on.
Oh, you're talking to the
right.
host.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw that, but I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so to fill Ray in, I think everybody here in the chat knows, but maybe not Ray. For my foot, by the way, Richard, they took out some of my stitches Wednesday. And they're going to try to take the rest out next Wednesday. I actually have a green cast on because the company I'm now with, their main color is green, so I want to be in dress code every day when I go to work. So basically it's just a slow going. The swelling's starting to really come down, and the doctor says it's going to be 3 weeks, and I'm going to be back in my boot, and then hopefully in 2 months' time, I'll be back throwing bowling balls. And before I go public on my page that I'm back throwing balls, I'm going to send a video to the RollerJam page for everybody to see on the RollerJam page that I'm back out there. I want you guys to get first looks at me throwing a bowling ball after all this time off. So,
Bill, you know, Ray bowls too, but he used softballs.
Hey, you haven't beat.
We were actually talking about that, Richard. We were actually talking about Ray's bowling abilities before you jumped on.
Yeah, we had an extensive conversation. Ray's pretty good.
Hey,
I
Ray.
might have to call Ray to fly out here to Elkhart next time I bowl the Elkhart Team Challenge and show up in his riot uniform, and so that way we can have him throw chili powder at some people. That'd be entertaining. I'd like to get Richard. I'd like to get Richard there too, and then that way he could walk around with the briefcase and the crown on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the crown though.
I haven't thrown a bowling ball.
And then I throw the chili powder, huh, Richard?
Well, I haven't thrown a bowling ball in probably 30 years, so I know that.
I just want you guys there to cheer. I just want you guys there to cheer our team on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys can come and cheer our team on, and that's, have 2 big stars of roller derby in the crowd cheering our team on. That would be fun, don't you all think?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray. What would you say? Would you say you and I go up against King Richard in a 2-on-1 handicap match race for old time's sake? What'd you say to that?
Hey, brother, you name it, the time and place.
Oh, yeah.
What, you know what they say? You know what they say? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Hey, Ray, you could probably hustle some of these guys in New York with doing some action bowling and bowl for money. Take them for all their money.
Especially with the chili powder.
I know. I throw it right in their face before they let go of the ball.
Exactly. That'd be the plan.
Okay,
Bill,
Ray.
I've got to.
How's the family, Ray?
Hey, we're doing good, brother. We're doing good.
Good.
Bill, I've got to cut out, so just want to thank everybody. Ray,
Same.
King, thanks for joining us tonight.
Pleasure, Brian.
Brian, take
Pleasure,
care.
Brian.
All right, have a
Take
good night,
care,
Brian.
Good talking with
Have a
you.
good night.
Hey, Brian.
Take care, guys.
Hey, Brian.
All right.
Hey, look, I got a real good one for both Richard and Ray. As far as the Derby, was there? I don't remember if we talked about this in past chat or anything, but was there ever any talk about the Derby becoming an Olympic sport at any point in time?
Well, Richard's able to tell you because he's older than I am.
No.
There've been a couple of questions about that, and Hiroshi Koizumi over in Japan has been working on just that, trying to get some type of a roller derby in Olympics. You know, he's a big wheel with the Olympic Committee in Japan, so he's definitely working on that.
Now, how would that work? Is it going to be? It's going to be legitimate games, right? Obviously, it's not going to be sports entertainment like RollerJam was. It's going to be legitimate games. All that.
More like the roller derby that they have, from my understanding, the roller derby that they have worldwide already, competition like that.
Okay, so what?
Kind of like World Cup kind of rules, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, elaborate into those for everybody here that doesn't understand them. Ray, do you know the rules that Richard's talking about, or is this new territory?
It's new territory to me, brother.
Let's see if Ray would like to play in this format. I'm curious.
Don't worry, I'll be in the penalty box most of the time.
I don't think
Richard,
if they got into the Olympics, I doubt it would be
anybody our age
competitive for us. Yeah,
yeah.
Because some of the young kids that are doing that now are speedsters. I doubt if I would be able to keep up. I'll keep up with them for a lap or two, but after that, it's all over.
we're already exhausted, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. So, Gus, you've been patiently waiting here. I put you on mute because you wanted to make a mockery of my last question for the whole group. Now, everybody here, that was a joke. I want to hear you guys laugh at him because I made fun of him.
Hey, no mocking the host, Gus.
Exactly. I think he's politely telling me to sit and spin. I think that, no? Yeah, that would get you Sean Corbin ejected. Anyway. Richard just missed Sean Corbin. That's the bad part.
Oh my goodness, did I miss him?
You missed him by like 5 minutes, King.
Oh, his loss.
So, Gus, you had a question for Ray regarding the bad guys, the heels, the red shirts. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, how bad would it get? Like, was there a point like during the matches where the fans would go too far and maybe like God forbid jump on this track and
we've had fans jump on the track, but luckily not at me. We've had them jump at other skaters, but yeah, it gets really crazy. And Richard really knows more about it because he skated a lot more than I did. And I know back in the day in the Olympic, the fans were a lot crazier than they are today, or at least the time that I've been skating. But when I used to watch Richard when I was a little kid, you know, and back at the Olympic Auditorium, I mean, people, they were fierce, man. They were getting on top of the rails and everything else, just trying to hit a skater from what all the stuff.
I mean, what was like the worst, one of the worst that you saw as far as fans going too far?
Well, I know one guy. I remember one guy at the Olympic Auditorium. This guy actually jumped on the track, and all the skaters just beat the crap out of him. The security guards
wailed on
carried
him
out. They carried him out. Well, it's like, I don't think Richard was there that one time when we skated at the LA street scene, downtown LA.
Yeah.
John Hall called us at the last minute and he goes, hey, you want to skate today? We can't pay you. Right, Richard?
I don't know nothing about that.
I know. And so there were the fans were right up against the track. And I swear we had to get, I was skating for the T-Birds at the time. We had to have the cops on horses surround us so the fans wouldn't get to us. But we happened to knock Stevie Santillan off the track, and the fans just started wailing on him. And so we had to jump up the track and start fighting back to the fans and threw him back in the track. It was crazy, man.
Okay, I can tell you a couple of episodes that I experienced.
That's a lot of them, Richard.
One is in Philadelphia. It was so bad that they had to build a cage from the track to the dressing room to get the skaters back and forth from off the track. Washington, D.C. was probably the worst I've ever seen it. It was so bad in Washington, D.C. they had to, the visiting team had to meet a truck at the Holiday Inn about 2 miles away, get in the back of the truck. They had to back the truck up to the doors on the side of the building to get the skaters in and out. Wow. And Ronnie Raines was skating with the New York Bombers, and he's crazy anyway. Ronnie is crazy on the track or off the track. You always have to watch Ronnie Raines. Well, he got to jumping on the Cats teams, Baltimore Cats team, and a fan was in the audience rooting for Ronnie Raines. And another fan got up with a switchblade and cut him throat from ear to ear. And told him, you don't root for anybody but the cats in this building.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the women? Was there any any fans like the the female fans fight like pull their hair and stuff like that?
We've skated. I've skated in St. Louis where we had to fight our way off the track through fans. Generally, any visiting team, anybody on a visiting team has fought a fan sometime or another. When one of the games I went into Chicago, Philadelphia was going into Chicago skating against I forgot who the team was. It might have been the T-Birds.
Detroit?
But we were skating at the Stockyard Inn. So this is going way back in time. We're at the Stockyard Inns.
Was this before
and we got in,
electricity?
and I got knocked off the track. And the lady came up and I was getting ready to climb back on the track and she kicked me right in the rear end. And the police by that time had grabbed her and I just turned around and I put my skates right in her chest. She went down. So after the game, we're sitting in the dressing room and the police come in to arrest me. The lady she wanted to have me charged, So I told her, well, I have no problem with that. I said, I want to press charges against her. So they went out and told her they have to arrest her also. And she said, well, never mind. So we went back to Philadelphia. We went back to Philadelphia. And about a week after I got into Philadelphia, I got served with papers that I had to come back to Chicago because she was suing me.
Wow.
So our lawyers told me that, I didn't have to go back. I just had to stay out of Illinois for 7 years.
And you skated for the Illinois riot.
So whenever we went out there to skate,
So
whenever we went out that way to skate again, I would stay in Missouri and St. Louis while the rest of the team went into Chicago. And then when they came out of Chicago, then we skated St. Louis and somewhere in Indiana and stuff. But I never went back to Chicago. They told me to just stay out for 7 years and you ain't got nothing to worry about. So we did.
And then
Wow,
the
that's
irony,
crazy.
the
Man.
irony is that you skated
like
further.
wrestling back in the day, where the fans would jump the rail and try to beat the crap out of the wrestlers. The same thing.
This
Jeez.
is what happened to me.
I was
skating for the Detroit Devils in San Francisco, Richard, and they happened to throw me over the rail, and this teenager came and he kicked me in the stomach, and I got up so quick, and I'm like, dude, please hit me one more time because I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. But that kid's eyes just they were so big. I mean, I mean, again, you know, he actually kicked me, and I was ready to kill him, man. Thank God security showed up because I was ready to tear him up.
I remember at Kezar Pavilion, Leroy Gonzalez was skating with the Bombers, and Erling Brown was on the Bombers at that time.
Yeah.
And they were skating. They didn't call them the New York Bombers; they just called them New York because they were skating against the San Francisco Bay Bombers. And so Leroy jumped on Charlie O'Connell and broke his arm, if I'm not mistaken. And the fans went crazy. They were coming on the track left and right. Erling was just grabbing people. Erling Brown was a big person. She played shot put in the '64 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Took a third. She was just picking guys up and throwing them over the rail. Throwing them over the rail. It was so funny out there. But we have had a lot of riots on and off the track, trying to get on and off. So, you know, it was just part of the game, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way, huh, Richard?
Oh, I would have, but.
And King, just so you know, you are telling the gospel truth about them cages up in Philly, because I used to live outside there, and I was like, I used to see the one where they had out by the vet during Eagles games, and I was like,
and they had their own court.
They needed them. Yeah, they needed the court, the cage, everything.
Yeah, we were, but Washington D.C. was probably the worst place for visiting teams and riots. The Washington D.C. police would not work inside of the building. We had to bring in our own private security, and they told the roller games that if you get them outside the building, we'll deal with it. But they would not come into that building and work there.
Is that the old Washington Coliseum?
Yeah, the old Washington Coliseum. Yeah.
So we actually
DC is really true too, because I remember because a couple of my family members who are Cowboys fans, man, they used to dread going to DC back in the day.
Yeah, that was a rough place.
So anyway, we do have a question, Aaron. I want Aaron to ask this one to you, Richard, because oddly enough, as Richard, you were telling that story about the Chicago thing, this actually did come to my mind. And then I look over in the chat and the question's there. So, Aaron, I want you to ask this question because it was the same question I had for him.
Well, King Richard, obviously Richard Brown was the storyline founder, president, captain of the Illinois riot. Was making Illinois, the state they were from, a rib by the fact that you weren't allowed to go to Chicago for 7 years?
I don't think so. They probably didn't know anything about that.
So it was just random, just random. The Illinois team.
That happened probably in like 68. 1968.
We may have somebody very special popping in.
I'm here already.
I got it while you were telling the story. I got in contact with a former teammate, another old school personnel, Patsy Delgado.
Oh, she showed up, what?
I reached out to her. I wrote her Facebook and I told her, hey, we're doing this right now. I said, you want me to send you the link so you can come say hi? And she said, sure. Send it to me.
Patsy Delgado.
That's awesome.
That name sounds familiar.
He was a Spanish former teammate of her. They traded one Spanish person for another Spanish person.
Oh.
Don't act like you don't know who Patsy Delgado is, King Richard.
Oh yeah, we many a times we've skated together. Good little skater.
So we're talking, John, are we talking she's coming on tonight?
I just told her. I literally, while Richard was saying the story, while he was telling the story, I found her Facebook and I texted her. She texted me right away. I said, "Hey, listen, I have two of your former teammates. I have the King and I have Ray. And do you want me to send the link?" And she's like, "Yeah, send it." She's like, "I look horrible, but send it to me."
We don't care.
I was like, "You know how many people have said that to us?"
Hell, Amy Craig's tried to use that as an excuse not to be on, and none of us care. One of our regular fans just joined us mid-chat. I think she'll be pleasantly surprised to see the two men that are on this evening. Kayla, good evening.
Hi, how are you
Hi,
guys?
Kayla.
Good. Obviously, a little smaller crowd this time than the last time. But we do have two very special guests on, if you notice who they are.
Yeah, that's Ray Robles. That's awesome. I'm looking through. Let me see here. I'm trying to see. Oh my God, there's Richard.
So
Wow.
So I have a question.
And we might be having a third Illinois Riot member on.
Heck yeah.
Here in a minute. Do we have confirmation?
A roller games reunion.
Yeah, we might as well just rename this episode Beyond the Jam, RollerJam, Beyond the Jam 3, and call this the Roller Games episode.
So, Lauren, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's the farthest back in memory you go with roller derby or roller games?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a real good question, King Richard. If I look, I'd rather going back to roller games. I remember when you skated on the wall of death when you was with the Maniacs.
Okay.
And it was you and Matt Bickham of the T-Birds that went up on top of the wall of death.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ray was around then. He didn't get up the wall, but he was there.
Hey.
But
let me tell you about that wall. When they first put that track up, Bill Griffith flew me out so I could learn how to skate the track and maybe help other people. So the first thing that I did, when we go into a turn, we coast normally in a turn. But on that wall, you could not coast. You had to climb and take steps. Well, I didn't think about that. I came off of a whip and I went up that wall and I coasted up the wall and got in the center of the very wall and then just fell completely down. Tore myself up. I had to crawl home. I couldn't skate for about a week. But I learned real quick that you had to keep skating when you climbed that wall. You had to keep skating until you came down to the downside of it.
Okay, Richard, we actually were asking this question about the Wall of Death a little bit ago. Ray does not remember this, when Mr. Mean went up and over the wall.
You don't remember that, Ray?
No, I do, but the question, I couldn't answer it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's nothing new. But
you know what? That's the episode I was talking.
So, okay, the question was Mr. Mean going up and over the wall planned, or was that completely ad-libbed?
It was an ad-lib moment that he did it. You know, we always sit around, a lot of the skaters sit around, and when we be watching stuff and doing stuff, we'll be thinking, well, what can I do? And nobody else will do, you know. And I think that was one of the moments with him. When he came off that rail, he just went, you know, he almost fell off, 14 feet off. I don't know if you remember, if you watched when they showed it, he hit it. The thing behind the wall was 10 feet wide. He hit it and rolled. And when he stopped rolling, one leg was hanging down off of that platform. So I don't think that he really thought that it would be that bad, but he could have really, if he had to went any farther, he would have fell 14 feet because that's how high that platform was, 14 feet high. He could have went down 14 feet. But I don't think it was something that he actually planned on doing. I think it was just something that in the spur of the moment, he said, I'm going to do this. Because most of the things that we do in the spur of the moment. We don't really plan what we're doing. We may have set jams that we do, but I remember the first time I was ever thrown over the top of the pack. I got in the back of the pack, and buddy said, okay, buddy, what we're going to do? He said, I'm going to throw you over the pack. I said, what? He said, I'm going to throw you over the pack. I said, okay. So he said, we're just going to run outside. As soon as we get to the pack, I'm going to lift you up, and you just go over. It scared the hell out of me the first time because I was up in there, and the pack didn't go down. It was standing up, and he threw me over that type of the pack. So a lot of the things that we did, we didn't really plan them. We just said, okay, I'm going to do this and do it. Generally, when you're skating with people like Ray, when Ray and I are skating together, we skated together and against each other so long that we really could just about read what each other was going to do. So a lot of times, like when I throw my jump to clear that rail, I don't really tell people that that's what I'm going to do.
Yep, never have.
They have to know what I'm going to do by the way I start to doing it. Like to go over that rail, I always step low on them, and I'll crouch and throw myself up. I've had some of them that didn't duck.
Wiped them out.
And the head came off, but you know, hey, it's just the way it was. You know, when you get to know each other, you know what each other can do and can't do. And our job was to entertain the fans. That's what our job was, whether it was as a red shirt or white shirt, good guy or bad guy. We were supposed. I skated no differently red shirt. Most of the time, I skated no different red shirt than I did white shirt. I skated the same. It's just that the fans, they didn't care, as a red shirt skater, a visiting team, they didn't care what I did. They didn't like it. You know, so it was no difference in what I actually did on the track. The difference was how the fans perceived it. And, you know, the T-Bird, if you weren't a T-Bird in T-Bird land, the fans didn't care. Or in Philadelphia, if you wasn't a Philadelphia Warrior. I skated, when I was on the Cats and came back and skated in Philadelphia as a Cat, they booed me and everything. And you know what, 6 months before then, I was on the Warriors and they were cheering me on. So it's just the way fans perceive and reacted to what we did.
So King Richard, you when you said the Cats, you mean the Baltimore Washington Cats?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Before they combined, you know, it used to be the War. Then they combined the two teams together, and they became the War Cats. But in 72 to 74, we were actually based in Baltimore and represented Baltimore, Washington, Virginia. We went down as far as Atlanta, Georgia, skated in Atlanta, Georgia.
Did you ever skate in Savannah?
Yes. Yep. We skated Savannah.
Where at in Indiana did you skate, Richard?
Mobile, Alabama. Annapolis.
Indy.
Gary, Indiana. We skated there. Several places.
Fort Wayne.
Where?
Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne, yes. We've skated there.
Like South Bend,
North Carolina, we played in Charlotte, South Carolina. We've, you know, all down in the South, Florida, Mobile, Alabama.
Richard and Ray, ever skated in Madison Square Garden?
Ooh, yeah.
I didn't.
You never skated Madison, Ray?
I never made it to Madison Square Garden.
I never believed. I told them to never let Ray skate there. I never believed they actually would.
Skating at the Garden.
Richard, what about Nassau Coliseum on Long Island?
Yeah, Nassau. I skated all up and down. I skated Madison Square Garden in the big part. We skated also in the smaller venue.
And the Felt Forum, yeah.
Felt Forum. Felt Forum. We skated there.
What was it like skating at the Garden? What was the atmosphere?
Was what?
What was the atmosphere at the Garden? Like the fans, the crowd.
Well, for me, it was no different than skating anywhere else. And that's because I just love to skate the Bay track. I've skated before over 20,000 fans. I've skated for 125 fans.
Yep.
And I do my best regardless.
Still get paid the same, right, Richard?
Yes. The problem, Madison Square Garden was a prestige building. The name Madison Square Garden. The skating companies hated skating there. They just knew that they had to. And the reason why they hated skating there is because it was a unionized building.
Yeah.
It still is.
When we work the track, we usually have 7 or 8 people working the track, setting it up, tearing it down. When you go into Madison Square Garden, you have to hire at least 4 union workers who didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
They carried 1 rail at a time. They didn't, if they didn't have a forklift, they didn't pick the track up if they didn't have the forklift to help them pick the track up, stuff like that. Plus you had to use their venue for advertisement. So, and they worked on what they call a 60-40. They got 60, you got 40% of the house, So as a financial boom, it wasn't good to skate in a Madison Square Garden. But for prestige and coverage, they had to do what they had to do. So during the week that they skated in Madison Square Garden, we normally skated 5 games a week. So the other 4 days actually made the profit for the company. The skating at Madison Square Garden was generally never a profit-making venture.
That is definitely eye-opening to know that. Do you think that's kind of contributing why the Derby ended up closing up after the big games at the Garden? Or
well, that was major buildings anywhere. Chicago. When you went and skated Chicago, what's that? The
Chicago Stadium.
No, the Palace or whatever. What's that?
Rosemont.
Yeah.
Whatever was before that.
All those
sorry.
It was not cost effective to really go in there and skate. You had to sell that place out completely. In order to make any money. When they skated at White Sox Stadium, they made money there, but I mean, they lucked out and got 50,000 people there and turned away 10,000. They couldn't even get 10,000 people. They couldn't even get in the stadium. They turned away 10,000 people.
They tried to do that at Shea Stadium, and it didn't work out so well.
Now, Ticketron, for that game, that was the first time Ticketron said that they sold every ticket they had for RollerGames. That was the first time they ever did it.
what do you think today, just from your perspective, Richard and Ray, you can jump in on this. And I wish Cindy was able to jump in. I think it was maybe like a nephew or something that jumped on the Zoom there, was dancing for us a few minutes ago. Richard and Ray, maybe you guys can answer this. What would be the odds today with the right promoting that we could have a roller derby game or games over a single day period at a stadium like, I'm just going to throw one out there, like the Rose Bowl, where we could fit 100,000 fans in the stadium? what would be, do you think that's impossible at this point, or do you think it would be, with the right promoting, it could be done?
No, I don't think at this day and age, I don't think it would be possible. Most people that go to a roller derby or roller games that is put on now are the diehards. And diehards won't pay the bills. I've always said that if anyone wants to start up roller derby, roller games, call it whatever you want, they're going to have a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, I mean in the millions, 40, 30, 40, $50 million, because it has been what, 10, 15, 20 years since anybody has seen roller derby.
Yeah.
And so it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years to build that up. You know, no sport comes right out of the bat and make it. That's why when football helps these other leagues, 1 or 2 years they last. You know, it's hard to give people interested in something. Now, if you had the money to spend, because you're not going to make any money the first couple of years, so if you had money that you could spend and not worry about making a profit for 2 or 3, 4 years, I think it could be done. But one of the biggest reasons that roller derby and roller games failed, and this is only my opinion, I'm putting my disclaimer out here right now, this is strictly my opinion. They closed their training facilities. So they had no talent to back up when Ray, I wanted to retire. When the big names that were around then wanted to retire, they had no talent to take over. When we started, you sat on a bench for 3, 4, 5, 6, unless it's something extraordinary happened, you was on the bench for 6, 7 months before you actually got big time into a game.
Right.
I happen to have learned when I trained for 3 years with all the top pros. I trained with the Charlie O'Connells, the Ken Montes, the Buddy Atkinsons, the Joni Westons. You know, I trained with all of them when I started with roller derby, but I trained for 3 years before I got into my first game. And because they had training schools back then, when someone got hurt, they had someone to step in. Once they closed all their training facilities, then they started going to roller rinks and just pulling people out of roller rinks and putting them on the track, have them go out there training before a game and put them on the track. Nobody wants to pay at that time $15, $25 to see a new kid. They wouldn't do it. Well, they're not going to do that now. So it will take time. It will take a lot of money invested. It would take training facilities. I've made up plans for roller derby. I've had people talk to me about starting up roller derby, and every time I tell them, if you ain't got $30, $40 million to look at, don't waste your money, because that's exactly what it'd be. All your income is going to go out. And now, to make it even worse, see, when we skated, we got paid $25 a game, $50 a game, $100 a game. You worked your way on up.
Yeah,
but
I
now,
made less than that,
I've known when I started, my very first professional game was $5.
Yeah, mine was $12.50.
Mine was $5. When I went with the Los Angeles Thunderbirds, that's when I got $12.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I got a 50-cent raise after 5 years.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
No, what would that translate? What would that translate to today's money, though? I mean, $12.50 to today.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. If I wanted, let's say I wanted to put a league together, a team together. If I wanted you, Bill, to skate for me, what would I have to pay you in order for you to quit your job and come and skate. And I don't mean give me a figure. I mean, when you stop and look at it, most people today work for wage and benefits. If you don't have that, you know, if you don't have that, if you don't have a retirement plan, if you don't have a medical plan to offer them, if you don't have a decent wage, you take these people out here making $30,000, $40,000 a year. I can't go and offer them no $100 a game to, you know, to skate. And then you're going to have to guarantee them the money, because if they're going to leave their job, you're going to have to guarantee them 3-4 years at least in order to get them to leave their jobs, you know. So it's going to take a lot of money to and I figures that I have put out with the cost of television and you know, it would be hard to get a sponsorship. So a lot of your TV programs, you're going to be paying for that yourself, with paying the skaters. If you think about it, let's say you want to make an 8-team league, 7 skaters, guys, 7 girls, 14 on each team, times 8 teams, you're talking about 96 skaters that you got to pay for 3 years, and give them medical, and give them, you know, retirement benefits. So if someone, I always tell people that say, I got some money I want to invest in. If you don't have $30-40 million, don't waste your time, because to me, that's exactly what it would be. It's going to take 3 years, at least 2 or 3 years, to build up the crowds to even want to, you know, to come and see the game. So.
And you got to build the fan base from scratch again. Literally from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, you can give them any kind of game you want to, because you're going to be building from scratch, but you got to think you're building from scratch, and it's going to take some time to get them acclimated to what you want to do.
And that's huge. I mean, you know, a few weeks ago when the Powerball and the Mega Millions was over $1 billion, you know, I figured if I were, you know, somehow, some way hit it, I'd have $30 million to spend.
I dream too.
We all dream it.
Trust me, there are like 4 investments that I would make with a Powerball winning of over $1 billion.
No.
I would go buy my childhood putt golf and games fund center in Mishawaka. I'd walk in there with an open checkbook and say, how much for you to get out of this building and me own it? Probably write him a check for $750,000. He's gone.
Yeah.
Go to my childhood bowling center in Mishawaka and literally open up my checkbook and say, how much for you and your wife to get the hell out of here? Own that place. And then obviously this is after all my bills are paid and everything, and then make an investment into the PBA, buy it out until AMF Bowl Award to F off. And then I would do something with roller derby and get that back up and running. But then I'd have the money to do it, and you know, it's like, okay, no big deal.
If I had $30-40 million, I think I could make it go. The first thing I would do is I would open up 5 or 6 training centers across the United States. And the whole thought would be just to get, if you'll stop to think about it, with all of the women roller derby leagues going and the men that are now getting associated with them, I know you can get 100 skaters to make a team, to make teams for a league. I can almost guarantee that. But if you're going to skate a straight game, then they're going to have to train and learn how to fall, learn how to protect themselves, you know, learn the game itself. And so that's why you would need training schools around the United States. It's feasible, but it's going to take some years to do.
So we're talking, your training facilities, you're talking just to get these people up to snuff, ready to be able to play the game.
Yeah, you would need to get them able to skate a decent professional type game. And then the next step would be to put on some games. And what I would do is I would put on the games and wouldn't worry about whether I made any profit. I would give tickets away to boys clubs, girls clubs, churches, whoever, just to get an audience. And then most television seasons run for 13 weeks. So you would need to make at least 13 weeks of games. Well, if you skated a 2-hour game, which was normal roller derby would be in 2 hours, and broke them into 1-hour shows, that give you 26 weeks, a half a year of television. And then you have to pay for that TV to put it on, because unless you can find the sponsors, the right sponsors, you're gonna have to pay for the TV time. So that's on 6 months. So you say like 6 months to train, 6 months to run it on TV. So a year from now, you can think about skating games with the thought that I am not going to make any money for a few years. And I think it's feasible. I think it, I think the talent is available to us now where it wasn't before, but I think it is now. I know with the Philadelphia, the Penn Jersey Roller Derby League, which was a flat track women's league, and then they brought men on, and then they had the men and the women league in it. I had the privilege of training along with Skip and Judy Sawinski, training them to skate on a bank track, and they loved it. And I mean, they were some talent out there. But when you're training, it's hard to take a flat track skater onto a bank track and teach them how to skate the bank track. But if you learn to skate the bank track, you can take that knowledge onto a flat track. So we worked with them for a long time, and they have a heck of a group of skaters there that we skated regular roller derby type games, and they did a fantastic job. So I do believe it is possible. It's just that it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of hard work.
Makes sense. Wow. Richard always has the brain power and the knowledge. I think we need to give Richard a round of applause for that little tidbit for everybody. I mean, seriously.
Hey, that's why he's the king, folks.
I've been fortunate that I've been in I've worked every position just about in roller derby. I've worked the tracks, I've built tracks, I've ran training schools, I did color commentary on TV, announcing. I have at one time or another in my life done just about every avenue. Management, I've been in management, so I got a lot of knowledge coming up. I had like a buddy Atkinson that gave me a lot of inside information on how to do things and what to do and what not to do. And then of course I watched, at one time we were getting like 1% of the house when we skated a match race. But we had to rely on the company to be truthful with us as to how much we were getting paid. Well, I learned real quick how to count a house. So I can count a house. I can tell you probably within a couple of hundred people how many people are in a house, and then it's the matter of mathematics. How many they pay an average of $10. We got 3,000. That means the house is $30,000, and so I get 1% of that for my. If that ain't on my check, there I get to questioning, what's going on. So I've just been fortunate enough that I was able to learn from people and to watch and learn how people did things, that I was able to pick up along the way. And that's why I think I would be a valuable asset to anybody that wanted to start up roller derby. I have my own idea how it should be done, but I'm willing to go along with whoever put up the money. So any of you guys come up with all that money, I'll be more than happy to work with you guys.
And I think I think I can speak for a lot of us here that I think everybody agrees that we're all kind of more purists of the actual game of roller derby or roller games, where we don't want to see all the little silly gimmicks at this point. We want to see actual gameplay.
Can I ask you a
regardless if
question?
it's
Can I ask you a question? And I mean,
Yeah.
this is to everybody out there. Why do you think that the gimmicks, set plays, and stuff came about?
WWF.
Why did they do it?
I would say at the time, wrestling was, you know, at least for RollerJam. RollerJam came around in 1999, which is kind of like the height of the Monday Night Wars with pro wrestling.
Yeah, it was at its height. It was at its most popular for that time. And not to mention ECW was also on the network at that time too.
But to be fair, pro wrestling, and this is well known. Even Danny Wolf said it. Pro wrestling and roller derby are sister promotions. And this has been you get, for example, you have wrestling way back then that used to promote roller derby. They used to do it, so they would go hand in hand. So,
do you think that they ever skated straight games?
Very rarely, I think I can remember.
Maybe season one. Season one was a little more
see,
skating.
it's hard with this group because you guys came in around the time of Roller Jam.
Yes,
I definitely did.
Yes,
Okay. But we can use Roller Jam. Roller Jam had enough talent that they could have skated a straight game and formed a league and skated full-time city, versus city games if they wanted to. They chose not to do it. And the reason why it is kind of like what you guys were saying, that wrestling was a big deal, and so they felt they had to have storylines with everything. And all they really wanted to do in Roller Jam was to make 100 episodes so that they can syndicate. They had no real plans for going past 100 episodes. I think we did
really.
I think we did like 115, 117 episodes. We actually.
I think Danny Wolf mentioned how many episodes there actually was.
And then that's why we closed our doors, because once they've got that 100, they were able to syndicate. They have to have 100 episodes in order to syndicate, and they were able to syndicate it, and that's where the money was made, when they syndicated that show. But they had the talent that they could have went on, and believe it or not, even though the game was staged, we skated straight. And I say that because when I hit somebody with a chair, I hit them with the chair. I just knew how to hit them where it wouldn't kill them. But if they did get, we got hurt when we skated.
Were they expecting the chair shot?
Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't. And a lot of times, whether we won or lost the game was based on how I felt. I got in a lot of trouble because they wanted a game to go a certain way, and I just didn't feel that, for the fans' sake, that was the right thing to do. And I bootlegged a lot of games in my career.
We even take it out in RollerJam with all the chair shots and the tables. Like, you guys, when you were going around the track, you were hitting each other. Like, didn't look staged to me. You guys were legitimately checking each other.
Well,
and
see,
punching
that's what
each
I'm
other.
saying. We were professional enough that we could do the stage stuff in a way that most fans didn't know that it was staged.
I mean, until I joined the group and I talked to a couple of other skaters, Richard, I didn't know the games were staged.
Do you know, I was in the game for over 40 years and I never told my family one time that it was fixed. My family never knew.
Well, you got to keep kayfabe. You got to keep.
Yeah.
They never knew it. I think one of the
great magicians never reveal the secret.
Yeah, one of the downfalls of roller games is when they started getting involved with the fans, and the fans started knowing what was going on. Once the fans started knowing what was going on, there was no reason for them to come to the games, pay $25 to come and see. All they did was call you up, oh, who won the game? What happened? That's what, so that was a part of us. We were part of our own downfall. Then you had, and then there again, I said there was no talent. So when they wanted someone like me or Ray Robles to fall for a new kid that couldn't even stand up on the track,
wasn't happening.
Wasn't happening. And they blew a lot of their storylines, But I also believe that I had no real problem with getting knocked down by I say new kid, quote unquote new kid, because I knew that I can do it in a way that I would not look bad in the sights of the fans. Example, Ray and I are going out on a jam together. I know where everybody is on that track, but I skate in such a way to where I'm not looking at what he's doing. So if he come up on the inside of me and knock me down, fans are going to say, well, I should have been paying attention. Because they know ain't no way a new kid should be able to knock me down. But I can do it in such a way where I look like it was my mistake. So I got the job done that the owners wanted, but I got it done in a way where I didn't look as bad. And then when like I said, when Ray and I skated together, we don't really tell each other basically what we're going to do. We know that Ray is going to go out of the picture, or I'm going to go out of the picture, but we don't necessarily say how it's going to be done. We just go and do it. We know at the moment that it's going to happen, and then that's when it happens. So I have skated a straight game. I've skated set games. I've skated what I consider a legit game different than a straight game. I've skated them all, So with the legit games, you get hurt a lot more. With the straight games, it wasn't as entertaining as set games. But back in its height, we could skate our skate games because we had the talent to pull off what we wanted to do. Whereas in the later years, after they closed down the training schools, then we just didn't have that talent to pull off what they really wanted to do.
Look, guys, it was such a great blast hanging out with you guys tonight, but I'm gonna have to call this a night, and hopefully I get to see you on June the 5th. So it was a great pleasure to have you guys.
Are you going to work?
No, I'm going to bed.
What? Why you need sleep?
Well, duh. Some need sleep. Some people do. Some people don't.
It was enjoyable being on with you, Raymond. You take care of yourself and
have a good night. Have a good night to everybody, guys. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
And I just got notification to I'm going to stay on here. Richard, some of you guys can have some questions. Let me see if I have another skater that just messaged me trying to get on. Let me see if I can get him on. I'm not going to reveal who it is because I'm not going to ruin the fun. So
no, in wrestling,
put myself on mute. The host is going to mute himself. You guys chat amongst yourself, tell stories. Ray, I'm sure you want to jump in and tell a story after Richard wouldn't shut up for 20 minutes.
You had somewhere to go.
Hold on.
Bill.
Don't let him do that to you,
I
King.
got one for Ray anyway.
I thought you had something to do, Bill.
It's like that. The youngins, they don't let the it's not allowed. Like the youngins are not supposed to call spots with legends or veterans. Like they're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to keep your mouth shut. Whatever the veteran says, you go along with.
Well, when we first started, most of the time when new kids got on a track, they sat on the infield. They didn't even get a chance to get up on the game. We sat
at the end of the bench by ourselves
and hoped that somebody got hurt so you could get in.
Exactly.
We was, they tell us they'd tell us go coach the girls. When they were in a huddle discussing what they were going to do, they would tell them no kid go coach the girls. Because they didn't even let us in on what was going on.
Sounds like my high school baseball
Doesn't sound
career.
too bad.
You guys ever? I know some of the old school fans, the old school wrestling fans. You guys heard of the mass transit incident, right?
Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's what happens when a youngin tries to open their mouth and tries to tell a veteran what they're gonna do that night.
Which incident was that again?
Well,
What happened?
we used to have what we call new kid night. We would pit new kids against each other, and we would tell one of them that they're supposed to score, and we'd tell the other one that they were supposed to score, and they came out with some of the better jams because they were both trying to beat each other up, so that they could score. So. But we were family, just like wrestling. In wrestling, they were family. With roller derby, we were family too. When we were not skating, we were, not all of us, not everyone, but Ray and I spent time together. We've
done a lot of great things together. A lot of great memories.
One of the few, I think one of the only persons that I really did not get along with on the track or off the track was Ronnie Raines. And that was because Ronnie Raines deliberately tried to hurt people.
Tried to take the psycho thing a little too far, at least during the game anyway.
Well, it played its part. It played its part in the game, but I remember an incident over in Hawaii. We were skating in Hawaii, and him and I had a match race, and he was supposed to win the match race. So I'm down on the last lap. I'm down, and all he had to do was go across the line. He came back, kicked me right in the face. Split my eye, above my eye, split it wide open and everything. Blood was just pushing out everywhere. And I went off on him. Bill Griffith, who's the owner, he's trying to tell me to calm down. Hell no, I'm not calming down. There was no reason for him to kick me in the face. It took me several years to get back at him, but
gave him a receipt.
One day in Philadelphia, at the Philadelphia Arena, he kept messing with me, and I kept telling him, Ronnie, you need to leave me alone, and he kept messing with me. So he was sitting on the infield with his head down, and I went off on the infield, got a chair, and I said, Ronnie, and as he looked up, I just laid him out, and I mean legit, laid him out with the chair.
Oh my God.
Hey, Said that's what happens when you go into business for yourself.
Yeah, well, and the fans loved it. I mean, they thought it was the greatest thing out there, but they didn't understand why I did what I did, you know, and that happens a lot. You know, a lot of times when I throw a block at somebody that want to make me look bad, I'll throw a block at him and he'll sidestep me. Only I'll drag my foot behind me, and he doesn't think about jumping, and he hit it. He smacked face dead into the track. You know.
And how good did that feel, Richard?
That just well, it felt good to me after then, but it didn't feel good when it happened to me. But I mean, it had happened to me. You know, that's why I learned. When you sidestep somebody, you jump. You take that little jump to avoid falling over somebody's legs. But there wasn't that many people that I didn't get along with. But on the other hand, I didn't take it easy on them just because we were friends. Ray hit me sometimes, and I'm Ray. You know this is set. You know, well, I want to make it look good, you know. So, but you know, it's I don't know if you guys know a skater named Jeffrey Hart. Skated back in our days before your time, and him and I were really good friends. Him, Larry Lewis. We used to always hang out together and stuff, but. We were skating on the track one day, and Jeffrey did something to me that I don't even really remember what he did. All I know is that I went after him. I was jumping up and down on him, stomping on him and everything. And Larry came up to me and pulled me off and said, "Richard, why did you do that?" I don't know. He did something to me, but, you know, we were friends, but on the track, to me, I don't have friends on the track. I mean, I do, but I don't. I mean, I skate a game. My job as a visiting team is to beat down on the home team. That's what my job is, and consequently, when I'm skating on the home team, my job is to be the nice guy, good guy, fancy skater. Do all the nice things and all that stuff, and so that's the way you play it. You know, that's just the way it was. You know.
Richard, Ray, I could get both of yours. Can you explain the history of match races and how they originally came about?
Want to take that, Ray?
You know more about it than I do.
Well. Match races came about because of the feuds that skaters would, you know, get into. When a skater did something to you that just really pissed you off and you went after him, you wind up fighting. The owners decided, well, if you guys are going to do that, let's make some money doing it. And that's how match races really developed. It really developed off of feuds that skaters had, and the owners decided, well, we'll do it at a time, and then we can get more people to come in and look at you two feuding by doing it in a match race. And so that's how match races really did come about.
Yeah, because I always saw like almost every other, like maybe almost every other episode, I always see like somebody on the T-Birds getting involved because like whoever they were skating with previously did something rotten to them, and then
well, you know, back in those days, the one thing that you never saw a match race on TV. Because the bosses thought, well, the match race will be something special. Let them pay to come out and see this something special. So RollerGames just overdid it. I mean, the fans, if they didn't see a match race, they didn't feel they got a complete game. That's how it became, because there was so many match races involved. RollerGames overdid it. Roller Derby never had as many match races until later in their years, they started having more match races. But roller games, it became part of the game. So, I mean, we had 5 games a week, at least 4 of them, there was a match race. You know, the game that didn't have a match race was when they televised the game, because they didn't want to show match races on the game. So, I hope that answered your question.
And you can see that roller jam. We're in the midst of probably elevating it and taking it to a different level.
I think if they had stayed on there, they'd have had more. You know, they kept asking us to do more and do more and do more.
Remember, Richard, when we first started doing RollerJam, we used to get flown in for a week's worth of training, and then we would skate a game, and then they would send us home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we were doing match races, we were doing 2 games, and we were doing a battle royal all the same night, man.
Yeah.
So somebody got hip on, hey, man, when we can take more for one price than paying a skater and then bringing him in every time we had a new episode to skate and do something special with that person. So they got smart and they started doing more than what they could do with the skaters. I mean, I remember one night I had the battle royal, the 20-man battle royal. I had a match race and I had 2 games to skate that night.
Yeah.
When we got to the battle royal, I'm like, hey man, just kick my ass and throw me out because I'm done. That's when Tim Wilson was. Remember when Tim was yanking me on the rail and shit?
Yes.
I said, dude, just throw me over, man.
Get it over with. Yeah.
They changed the rules. Didn't they change the rules for one of those battle royals, like in mid-match? I think it was like you couldn't put your body in the infield or you couldn't step in the infield. And I think either Lindsey Francis did it or
they did.
Coming into the literally
when it messed up what they wanted done, then they changed the rules. Yeah, it did happen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, roller games. If you went off on the infield in roller games, the jam was over.
Mm-hmm.
But in roller derby, both feet had to go off onto the infield. And then you had 3 seconds to get back onto the track. If you got back up or got back onto the track, then you could continue. They made jams according to things happen. I remember when I first started, they were 15-minute periods and 90-second jams. Then they switched it to 12-minute periods, then 12-minute periods and 60-second jams. Then they switched to 10-minute, 60 seconds, which is what they did towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But 15 minutes was a long time to be getting your head beat in.
Yeah.
I remember when the first time the T-Birds ever skated an interleague game against the San Francisco Bay Bombers. I went out on the very first jam, and Charlie O'Connell hit me. He hit me so hard I saw spots before my eyes for the whole 15-minute period.
Oh my God.
We didn't know about concussions back then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I had a concussion because I just saw these spots. But it didn't matter whether we skated, no matter you were hurt, had broken bones and stuff, whatever. We went out there and skated regardless, you know.
Richard, we skated Canada one year, and Harold Jackson fractured my ribs during one of the first games that we skated. And the next game we skated, which was the next town, I told Rafi Valadares, I go, Rafi, I can't go down. I can't stand up. My ribs are killing me. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of you, kid. They come back with an ace bandage, and ace bandage means.
Yes, indeed. They did basically that to me when I was on the T-Birds and I got hit by somebody. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was a skater called Cecil Hatfield, And Cecil Hatfield at that time was probably the most legit skater there ever was. And he hit me and separated my chest. So I had, I tore the cartilage in my chest. And so I went to the hospital and they told him that I should take it easy. What was easy to them was they gave me a back patch that they put on there, wrapped it with an ace bandage, and told me to go back out there and skate.
That's right.
And like a dummy, I did. But every time somebody hit me,
we skated in Detroit, and Harold and Bernie were on the same team, and they grabbed me from my shorts and my shirt and throw me into the chairs, right? So, like you say, we do things in a split second. So I thought to myself, that quick, I'm going to jump over the chairs and the penalty box.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens is I catch my skate on the penalty box, and I hit my spinal cord on the bottom of the track.
Oh.
I start screaming my head off, but at the same time, we're still thinking about the game, and I'm like, hey, I'm on the blow off. Get my ass up,
You're on the left. Yeah, we don't want to.
So the girls pick me up, and I call timeout, and we get into huddle, and I tell everybody, hey guys, I need a 3-man whip because without that, I cannot skate. I finished the game. They carried me out, and they went to the hotel. They threw me in bed, and we'll see you tomorrow. And there I was next day, man. We did it again.
Wow.
It was crazy.
So that's how some of our jams that we did came out that way, because somebody did something and said, hey, that was cool. Let's do that again. So,
well, here's one that I did with Mark D'Amato at the Olympic Auditorium. Coming out of the turn, they put the announcer's booth on some stilts, because the turns were pretty high.
Right.
And I had told Mark, I go, Mark, we were going to do what they call the red shirt fuck up. And I told Mark, whip me as hard as you can coming into the turn. And he did. And then I jumped in the air, and I think Jim Green was one of the announcers. I jumped over the rail and over the scaffold. If it wasn't that Jim Green grabbed me, I would have hit the wall and went down 14 feet from the fucking... I blacked out. I woke up and I'm like, where in the hell am I? He goes, but you're skating. Well, then throw my ass back in, But we did some crazy stuff, man.
Well, I remember in Canada one time when I broke my wrist. And I don't know, you were on that trip. I don't know if you remember. You were on that
Canada.
Trip. And the next night, Harold and I went out on a jam, and I had a cast on, and Harold took my hand and banged it off of the
rail. I remember.
I yelled, I don't know, loud as I could. Bill Griffith was petrified. He was standing over there, and he seen that. He laid Harold out because he thought he had done it on purpose, to hurt me. And he didn't. We just decided to do it. It didn't hurt me because the way it hit the cast on the rail, and it didn't hurt. But because I hollered and screamed and everything, everybody thought that I was really in pain. But things like that, that's what I mean by when we just do things in the spare of the moment that we feel will entertain the fans,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Good improvisation.
I remember one night we were skating in San Francisco at the Kezar Pavilion, and I was redshirt. I was a Detroit Devil. Maverick went out on a jam. And, he's 2-3 times bigger than me. And I grabbed him and I threw him into the penalty box. I picked that penalty box and I threw it on him and I stomped all over that. I was doing a Richard Brown stomping. And then halftime we go into the locker room and he goes, Ray, how many guys were kicking my ass? That's me, brother. That's me. I was cracking so much, dude. That was so funny. How many guys were you, man? There was at least 3 of you guys, right? Nope.
I remember one time where I really did get hurt. I was we were in Philadelphia Arena, and I took a 5-man whip.
Oh man.
And this is where the new kids shouldn't be on a 5-man whip. Or new
That's
kids
right.
shouldn't, but it was. On a 5-man whip, there's 4 skaters plus me. And the first 2 skaters are supposed to go down on the infield.
Yep.
So that you would have enough room to whip me out. Well, they didn't. They stayed on the track.
Oh,
so
man.
I come off of the whip out of the turn, and I'm on one skate right on the rail, and I can't turn. I can't do anything. I take the rail, though. And you take a rail with you take a rail by putting one hand over so you can brace yourself and one hand under. Well, I did that, and the rails broke on each upright. So I'm going through the air holding a rail like this with the rail in there, and I land right in the bench in the seats. I cracked all my ribs.
Ow.
And they wanted me to skate the next night.
And you were there. And you skated, right?
I said, no way. I cannot skate. Maybe
That's
the
the
day
ultimate
after, but
atomic
not
web.
tomorrow.
Rusty!
What's going on, guys?
Rusty.
Hey, Rusty.
What's up,
Hold on.
Rusty? What's up, Rusty?
Rusty, is that
How's
Rusty
everybody
Montgomery?
doing?
Doing good. How about you?
That's Rusty Montgomery.
Hey, how we doing?
Rusty, can I ask you a question? I meant to
Nope.
ask this last time that but you were so enthused with getting to know the fans.
Right.
I didn't have a chance to ask you the question.
Okay.
How many pounds did you gain?
Oh. You're not right, Richard.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. All right. That's all muscle, baby. It's all muscle. So during the show, I was anywhere between 165 and probably 172.
Mhm.
And I'm at a solid like 235 right now.
Ooh, okay. Big boy.
Yeah, I didn't grow up. I grew out.
Yeah.
Hey, Rusty, real quick, since you were able to get on, did the email work, or what was the issue with the link through
It
Facebook?
wouldn't let me use the passcode you supplied or that was on there wouldn't let me get in, so I had to use the email you sent me.
Okay, because I need to. There's 2 more people looking to try to get on, skaters.
Yeah.
And they're having issues too. And I sent you a message about one of them. I don't want you to say the name because I don't want.
Yeah, I got you. I would try to send them an email because that worked. I got right on with that. So.
Yeah. If you send it to their phone, sometimes that doesn't work. But if they got a computer and email and forward that to their computer, then they can use it.
Yeah.
Well, see, I did it through my computer through Messenger. I just clicked the link and it automatically brought me to you guys.
Right.
Yeah, I got on from the message that Bill posted this afternoon from my computer.
Facebook post link. Yeah, just the Facebook post link.
Yeah, same with me, except I'm on a cell phone, so I'm not on a computer.
It also matters if they have to have Zoom downloaded correctly.
Yeah, that's why I use my I'm actually I have a work computer and a home computer, and since this is being recorded, I won't say which one is faster, but that's the one I'm using for this, because it's like the other one, it's like I was on a call for something else, and it's like it took like 2 or 3 minutes. I could probably use either one, but it's like,
I'll tell you what happened. What took me, one of the things that took me so long to get on was I was trying to use the link from last show, and it wouldn't take.
Yeah.
And then he sent me the new one, and I put the information in, and then it popped up.
because I know for work we have like for my job, it's like we have meetings where we use the same code for that, but for our daily meetings, but for individual meetings, sometimes it's different ones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray Robles, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, dude. How are you?
It's been a long time, man. You look great.
Hey, man, it's been over 20 years, man.
It has, man. It has. You look good. It's good to see
Ray,
you.
is everybody at your home gone? Are you home by yourself?
Why you ask that, Richard?
I'm surprised that they
Hey,
let you.
Richard.
I'm surprised they let you stay on this long.
Hey, Richard, they threw me outside because they didn't want to hear all the bullshit.
Oh my God.
There goes our PG rating, everybody.
It's about to get more nostalgic. It's about to get more nostalgic.
There he is. How you doing, Rusty?
Good, brother. You doing okay?
I'm doing great, man. Keeping busy, retired, having a blast.
God bless you. I'm about 5 years out from retirement, man.
Are you? Yeah, I retired
am.
2 years ago.
Good for you, brother.
When I first retired, I wanted to come out of retirement. I'm serious. My daughters thought that since I was retired, I was the built-in chauffeur. Dad, can you pick this one up and take them to baseball? Dad, can you pick this one up, take her to cheerleader? Then we'll go back and pick up the one from baseball and take them to football practice. I'm not going to be doing this here. I ain't even getting paid for all this stuff. It'd be better for me to go back to work.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Oh my
I
goodness.
apologize for being so late. I had a family obligation tonight. I apologize, guys.
We were just so happy that you weren't on, you know.
Yeah, appreciate
we got a word in edgewise. So, Rusty, are you working on setting up a reunion for us?
Me?
No, you.
Why? Because I'm in Florida?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't been tasked with it, but I'm sure I'll be a part of it. You know how that works. But,
yeah, we're looking forward. I'm looking forward. I would love to.
I would love to have it, man. I'd be up there in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. It would take quite a bit because, and you know this, man. I mean, there's certain people that skated with us that are great people. But a lot of people just want to leave the past in the past. They don't care about.
Oh yeah, no.
But,
you know that's even with our skaters the same thing. Some people just don't want to live it, keep on living it and stuff. But I mean, you know, we've had reunions for years, and we have a blast every time we see.
Right.
Because I mean, it's
me
not
and Bill found that out
first, you know.
Yeah.
We can work on it, but I'll tell you, man. It really just depends on. I mean, logistically speaking. Finding a hotel. I mean, so I have some contacts. Being in law enforcement, I could probably hook up a hotel with like discounted rates and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we would have to find kind of a centralized location. I don't want to put a bunch of people out if money's an issue and or family obligations. But I would love to do that, and I think it would. I think it would work out really good. And I think if we did it more like a kind of like a high school reunion type thing. So the first night's like a meet and greet.
A couple of days, you know.
And then the next night's like a dinner or something. And then, you know, DJ and some dancers. I don't know, just something, man. I mean,
absolutely.
Hey, Rusty. So question, since you're bringing that up, do you think we could have one organized by, say, June 5th?
No.
Do I look like a miracle worker? Am I walking on water right now?
No,
okay.
He didn't say June 5th of this year.
Go Crane. June 5th of 2022?
No, we're talking like 2.5 months from now. We're talking June 5th, Saturday, June 5th, down in Florida.
Broshin.
We're talking like 2.5 months from now. We're not talking 2022 because that's going to be on a Sunday.
Can't do that.
I would honestly think about more something towards early fall. When I say early fall, I'm not talking about Thanksgiving. I mean maybe September, October. I mean this is the let me just give you, for instance, and just give me just half a second. I put on a reunion for. Let me back up. I had a good friend of mine die many years ago in a parachuting accident, and at his funeral, we saw a lot of people that I grew up with and I haven't seen in years. And I said, you know, it pretty much sucks that the only time I see these people is when there's a death amongst one of us and we all go to the funeral. So I went to Seminole High School in Sanford, Florida, and I said, I'm going to do a Seminole High School alumni reunion, and it'll encompass all years. And we didn't know where this was going. Now, this took me probably 9 months. And when I say 9 months, I was posting on, and back then it was just MySpace. It was Facebook. It was, you know, I was trying to get everybody. I was reaching out. And I will tell you, it was very successful. There was about 300 and something people there.
Wow.
But it took all of 9 months and people helping me recruit people to come and help with, you know, food and drinks and stuff. So it works, but this isn't something you can just throw together that quick. You know?
Yeah, and as you were saying that, it reminded me, with my high school did something similar for the 50-year anniversary of the opening of the school. This was about 8-9 years ago, and it's like, even with Facebook being in the mix then, in terms of the organizers, I remember they were sending out, you know, preliminary feelers and everything. It's like a good year before the, you know, before the event actually took place.
Yeah. It takes a while, because there are some people, like myself included, because I love everybody that I worked with on the show. And I would love to meet, you know, fans and all that. But there are some people that can do it at the drop of a hat. Most people cannot.
Right.
Because number one, when we bring this up, a reunion, they're going to let me think about it. It'll take them 2 months to even decide if they want to come. So I think we would really need to push it back till early fall, if not spring of next year. I mean, it would have to be that much of a plan. I mean, I wouldn't mind helping, but I would need some time. I can't just throw something together, because if you throw it together, it's not going to be a good product, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Plus, it'll be easier in a couple months with hopefully COVID symptoms being more down.
Yeah, well, there's another thing. Yeah, that's
a whole
big
other
thing.
story.
It's getting easier, but you know.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
the
I would
female
say
skaters
Florida's the
are
best place to
mothers.
have it, because we're like wide open right now. So just letting you know.
Yeah, although it's up here in Connecticut where I live now, it's starting to, it's not huge up and up, but I actually went out for lunch today. It's like I was stopped at a fast food place in the next town over from me, and they actually have, you know, it's limited, but they actually have indoor dining there, but it differs from town to town. Like the town I actually live in, same chain, doesn't have indoor dining. Next town over, you know, again, same chain and everything, they did. So it differs. It almost differs from, like, you know, place to place, town to town, and even
John,
ownership group
here's
to
the thing.
ownership group.
It's political, and it depends on who's running your state. That's how it works.
Everything
Because Florida, we're wide open. I mean, here's the thing. You wear they want you to wear a mask coming in. When you sit down, you can take it off and you're fine. Because I don't know if you guys know this. Let me give you a little lesson. COVID goes like right over your head when you're sitting down. It doesn't come here. It goes right over your head. But when you stand up to use the bathroom, you got to put it back on. It's crazy. So
the physics of it.
So yeah, but no, we're wide open. And I was fortunate enough, being in law enforcement, I was able to get the shots. I got both shots already. I wish everybody could get them right away, but I think Florida would be a good venue. We're wide open, and it would be much easier to do stuff here.
I know New York still shuts down at 11 o'clock every single night.
Kayla.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that smoking will stunt your growth.
I'm 4'8", so it already happened.
And with a lot of the female skaters, we got to remember their mothers, you know. So you know that you're gonna have to point that out.
That used to be no problem. Now, for some reason, it's more of a problem now than it was back in our days. We never had problems with women coming out. And some of the women out there was rougher than some of the guys back in our days.
Mm-hmm.
I think one
was
of the
was that the 40s or 50s?
That was more like in the 60s. That was in the 60s when people could see how handsome I was.
I love you, Richard. I love you, buddy. You know that.
One of the hardest hits I ever got was from a female. Joni Weston.
Joni
Weston
yeah.
hit harder than any guy on the track. And what made me mad was that we were in a training school and we were trying to show people how to. Oh, thank you for turning up right, Pat. She hit me so hard I got off the track. She said, "What you got off track for? Because you're not gonna hit me like that, and I can't hit you back." You know, she really. Hey.
Hi, baby. How are you?
She really tore me up.
Oh.
Judy Arnold. Judy Arnold had a hip block that would lay anybody out.
Hey, Rusty.
Hey, Lindsay, how you been?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, Patsy.
I can't see everybody. I'm on my phone this time, so I got nothing. I'm out and about.
You got to scroll through. Look at the ugly.
You got
look
to
at the
swipe
ugly
and left.
Where do I
and right.
see it?
Yeah.
I got the
I
biggest
see
head on
Richard. I
here.
see you.
Reverse Tinder.
Oh, wait,
Swipe
there we
your
go.
phone. If you swipe it, you can see more people if you swipe.
Oh, I'm going to swipe you.
Promises, promises.
I see Cindy. I see a photo of Cindy. I see John. Hi, Pat. Hi, John. How are
Pat,
you?
so how's the family, Pat?
Hey.
How's the
Everybody's
family?
doing good. Can you hear me?
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody else.
Perfect.
Hi, Reese.
Can you see
Hi,
Ray?
Pat. Hey, Robles. How are you? I can see Ray.
I have one stream of people, but I'm streaming right now. Barely.
Streaming like a demon.
Oh my God.
So, hey,
There's got to be another way to do it. All right, raise hand, meeting settings. Meeting settings, let's see. Meeting topic, trouble. Yeah, closed caption. Self-view, no. At the time, show non-video, yes. Sorry,
Look at
I'm
that
playing.
handsome guy. Look at that kid.
Trying to figure this out. On my
Everybody see
mobile-
that? Everybody see that picture right there?
You know when
That
we
was
were
1974.
when we were training.
He had hair.
I have a similar picture. It's like, unfortunately, I think it's in
Look,
my mom's
I
house.
look
have
identical to him back in the day.
I have a similar picture of me playing
probably
catch, in front of my house from the 70s in the vintage sort of 70s plaid pants.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the plaid pants and an Oakland A's cap, so the
John, I
bright
can't even
green
see
Oakland
John.
A's cap and plaid pants. It's like nothing
Nice.
coordinated.
Nice. Let's do this one. How about that guy?
Hi, Bill.
Hey, what's up?
Rusty. Who's that behind you, Rusty?
That was me during the wintertime.
You know, when we were training back then for RollerJam, I was really jealous of you guys.
Why?
Because we got paid to train. When I was coming up, we had to pay to train. You know.
Yeah, I understand that. Listen, I told you, I was like, when I first started though, they didn't pay us yet. They brought me in with pizza. They lured me in with pizza. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I got paid in the end, but they started with pizza and they fed this girl. They know my way to my heart.
Pizza's almost the universal way to everyone's heart. So.
What kind of pizza?
It is. I finally moved to New York just for good pizza. I'm freezing right now. It's freezing.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Why did you get involved with RollerJam?
Why did I get involved?
Yeah.
The truth?
Because she saw
pizza.
me and she's like, "Oh, I got to be in that league with that guy."
No.
It was the pizza.
Oh.
Truth. All right. So Chad Vaughn was from my area. He was one of my very good friends. I had just broken up with my boyfriend, and I was broke. And I loved Chad, and I wasn't sure if he was trying to date me or be my friend, but I loved to skate. So he invited me. He goes, "Listen, I got a bunch of my friends. We're all skating. We're all having a fun time. Why don't you come out to Sanford and see if it's something that's for you?" He's like, "I don't know. We'll get some pizza or something like that." I'm like, "Sure. It's not a date, right?" He's like, "No, it's not a date. We're good." And from there, I just met the most amazing people, and it just snowballed into something that was meant to be. I loved it. I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So real quick, I wanted to thank Patsy and Lindsay and Rusty for making it on this evening. It really means a lot. Patsy, by the way, check your friend requests on Facebook.
Okay. No, and thank you to Patsy for jumping on at such short notice. Richard,
Yeah,
did you
same
give
here
one
with
of us
Lindsay. I didn't
stories?
It's like a world record there.
We were out to
He
dinner.
didn't give
I had
one
a
of us a
babysitter.
story, so I figured, and then we mentioned you. We kept mentioning you, so I was like,
There you are.
I have Ray, we have King. Let's see if I can get a third. So,
Hi, Kayla. I see you on there. Hi, Kayla. Hi. Hi, honey.
so thank you for coming on such short notice.
You're welcome.
Hey,
How is your leg, Bill?
My leg, actually, I'm sitting on the couch right now at my place in Niles tonight, and the cast, I can literally stick my left hand down my cast, so that means the swelling's going down, which is a good thing. They took out some stitches last Wednesday, so just like 4 days ago, and they're gonna try to take the others out of my foot this Wednesday. So, yeah.
Has it started itching yet?
It's always been itching.
Oh man, I hated that. Try to find some hangers somewhere. Get down, stick it down up in there.
I don't know what happened. Lindsay just jumped off.
She was cold.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
It was the best I could do, Richard. I'm sorry. You set me up for it.
Miners are flying tonight.
Since Pat's, she's the newcomer, any stories? Like, anybody got questions for her?
I just got a sweater thrown at me by my cohort, partner in crime, my roommate, girlfriend, whatever the hell you want to call her at times. She just threw a coat at me after getting back from a birthday party.
Okay, Pat, I never found out or never knew. How did you get involved in roller derby?
I was speed skating and I didn't make nationals one year, and I went down and tried out for the roller derby at the Rollerdrome, and I made it, and ever since then, I was about 16 years old.
And the rest is history, huh?
And the rest is history. Yes.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this guy, Alan Smith? He's a mean-looking dude.
Isn't that your brother? You two look alike.
We got the same
come on,
size
King.
head.
That's enough, man.
We got the same
I don't
size
look
head.
like
Yeah,
that.
man.
I actually have hairs still, you know.
Oh, well, thank you for rubbing it in. I don't.
Oh. Hey,
All right, man.
Rusty, can
Yeah.
we give that a head of spit shine?
What? Yeah, you're a funny guy, man. Listen, I'm one of the few guys that my hair loss does not affect me. That's why I wear a hat.
When I started losing hair, I just started cutting my hair shorter to make it look like it wasn't losing it. But, you know.
Well, I had a little Bruce Willis thing going for like years, and I just like, nah, it's gone. I got a pretty round head, so I don't care. Whatever. Alan, how are you, buddy? You're pretty scary
doing
looking. I
good.
wasn't kidding, man. You're pretty scary looking.
Well, maybe from all the scars from my wrestling years.
Oh,
I don't
yeah?
know. Yeah.
Good deal. Is that what you did back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day.
All right.
Did wrestling.
How
and
big,
then
how
later-
big a boy are you?
At that time, I was 5'10", about 250.
Oh, that's it?
I kind of.
All right, that's cool.
You know, it was kind of like I wrestled more in Japan and Europe, where the smaller guys were more, you know, popular.
Yeah.
Because during my time, I was wrestling when everybody was 6'5" and all steroid up. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
No way in hell I was going to make WWE.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who was my hero up until a point. You'll know what I'm talking about. Was Chris Benoit. I mean, up until what he did. I mean, dude, that guy was like my size, except he's a little shorter. And he was phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
He
But
can hella work.
yeah, man. Yeah. Very cool.
It's just too bad what happened to him at the end, though. It's like
I know, man.
I still have feelings. A lot of it was, you know, not only concussions, but steroids at work.
Yep. Yep.
Well, Alan, you come from that world. Have you ever heard like the conspiracy theories that it wasn't him that like murdered his family? It was
Kevin
somebody
Sullivan.
else.
Kevin
I've heard
Sullivan is
a
the one they
lot of
mostly
different
put
things,
there.
you know, as far as when, because Chris Benoit, and it's like half of them, it's like, okay, it's kind of hard to believe because I've met him a few times.
No.
Super nice guy, but he was like super professional. If you were around him, he wanted you wearing suits and looking to like a total GQ type man instead of coming in and say, "Hey, I'm a wrestler."
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I've heard the theory, and I guess there was some things that I found out later about it that just kind of makes me wonder if that, could have been the case, because, I mean, let's face it, Chris Benoit kind of stole Kevin's wife from him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that was all Kevin's fault, though.
Right.
Kevin kind of pushed her on him.
I mean, Kevin did book his own divorce. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
As the saying goes.
Yeah.
But I would say the best person to ask would be Chris Jericho, because Jericho and Chris Benoit were kind of like best friends throughout the years.
Yeah. They just did a really good 2-part episode on Dark Side of the Ring of Benoit, and coincidentally, Jericho narrates it.
Yeah, that was actually a good episode. I
Yeah,
saw
a lot of the stuff on
two-parter.
Dark Side of the Ring has been very good.
I can't wait for the new
narrated
season.
A couple episodes. I think he did the Owen Hart one too.
Oh, he's the regular narrator now.
Yeah, I think he did. He definitely did that whole.
He does season 2. He does.
Yeah,
he wasn't there for season
Dutch
1.
Mantel did season 1.
Season 1, and Jericho does season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, it's good to see you on here again, buddy.
Yeah. So you gotta
All right,
go.
guys, I'm gonna call it a night. It's nice seeing everybody, meeting a lot of new people and fans, and hopefully in June we'll be back on. All right.
Thanks for Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
Greg,
Take care.
nice meeting you, sir.
Later. All right. Talk to you later.
Tell us
All right, buddy.
All right. Good night, Ray.
Hey, everybody, duck for the chili powder. He's throwing it as he leaves.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right, buddy.
Good man.
Night.
Watch your motorcycles.
We're gonna have to put so we can distinguish the two of us when it's John Z. We just call him Jay-Z.
Yeah, it works for me. That's what everybody used to call me, like growing up. It's like nobody, because again, John being a popular first name, nobody. It's like I'm very rarely called by my first name. It's like I've been Jay-Z, which has been amended more recently by people who didn't know me growing up as original Jay-Z, because of course we have the rapper Jay. See, I've been Zone Dog, I've been Zone Man, I've been Zones, I've been Z. I've been so it's.
Yeah, John, just be glad that you weren't friends with The Rock, because he might call you Zoni Jabroni.
Yeah.
So basically, John, you're saying call you anything but late for dinner, right?
Just about. Actually, the one, it's like Reese, it's funny you mentioned, it's like, I mean, and some people are probably familiar with this, but there's, one thing I got a lot of as a kid was there's a popular brand of pasta and spaghetti called Ronzoni. So I got that a lot growing up. If I had a dime, it's like, we talk about the money it wouldn't take to restart roller derby. If I had a dime for every time I was called Ronzoni in grade school, we'd have that.
Okay, everybody, it's 10 o'clock past my bedtime, so.
All right, Majesty.
Wait a minute, King.
Thanks
You
for
guys go to
listening.
bed?
Yes, I do. I gotta get,
Hey,
he's got to be a chauffeur. He's got to be a chauffeur to his kids.
I gotta get up and mow 2 acres of lawn tomorrow. So.
Hey, Alan.
Yes.
When we skated RollerJam, King Richard was in his 70s, so you can imagine how old he is now. So
I've
got to
worked
get
with
his
him in
beauty
the
sleep.
past.
Trusty. See, you're the real reason why I'm going to bed.
Hey, man, look at me. I love you, brother. You know that.
I love you too.
I love you, brother.
Guys, so thank you very much. I'll be with you guys next time, God willing. Pat, it was great seeing you.
Hi, Richard.
Tell the family we said hi.
Richard,
Hi,
you got my cell phone number, right?
Yes, sir. Didn't I
Do me a
call you?
favor.
Didn't I call you?
No, you didn't call me. You only used Messenger to call me, and then the time you did call me, I was at the hospital. I was laid up.
Didn't I call you on your phone, your cell phone?
No, because if you did, I would have programmed your number.
Oh, so what? Why you? What do you think I'm telling you?
You're telling me that I'm no good and I can F
When I
off. I
sent
get
you
it.
on Messenger, look back on your messages. I could have sworn I sent you my number.
I'll check.
I'll send it again.
Yeah, send it again, King. That way I have it.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Talk
man.
with you guys later. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.
Good night, Rich.
Good
See you,
night.
brother.
You
So,
guys, I'm reading also.
all right, Patsy. Thank you for dropping by.
Hey, Patsy, I got a question.
Okay.
Where are you at right now?
I'm in it's a closet, but I made it was a bedroom. I made a closet and my office room.
Okay. Well, I meant what town, what state?
Oh, sorry. I'm in Chino, California.
Wow. You know what? Let me just say, you look wonderful, by the way. My gosh, it's
God.
been so many years since I've seen you.
I know.
And
How you been?
I honestly, I haven't seen you or Ray since we left.
Oh my God. How long has it been?
Over 20 years.
20 years.
Oh my
22
God.
years.
Yeah. But listen, it's great seeing you. Seriously, I hope you're well.
Patsy, thank you so much for dropping by. I know it wasn't long, but dropping by and being a part of this is always nice. Glad to see you're doing okay, and it was a pleasure watching you as a teenager on Friday nights. So hopefully going forward you'll be able to join our future meetings and everything. And like I said, check your Facebook friend requests.
Yeah,
because I've been trying to get a hold of you about
I'll
these.
send you one too.
Okay. All right. But just say, Pat, it's me, because I don't even look at them. So honestly, just I don't know, do something different than others so I could just
Send a
check it
video
out.
request.
I know, no, you don't have to.
No,
But,
no. Hey, Bill,
I'll send a dancing video of me without my shirt on. There you
Yeah,
go.
send the video of the one with the Paul Heyman voice after when you tear the shirt.
Oh, you mean the Joey Styles voice? Okay.
Yeah, Joey Styles one.
But
Bill, if
a
it makes
little
you
bit
feel
more
better,
notice.
she won't. If it makes you feel better, she doesn't accept my friend request either. So
I'm sorry.
no big deal. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Damn.
Patsy. I haven't found
Patsy's
you yet.
getting the Spitfire back at her tonight.
Listen, put something on there, say it's me, I spoke to you or something, because honestly, I don't check them, honestly.
Well, I sent you a message tonight on Messenger, and you'll have the friend request in there too. So.
All right, but give me a little bit more notice so I could get dressed. I was out there riding my bike.
I'm sorry. It was literally, it popped in my head the minute Richard started getting into his stories, and we've been mentioning you a couple times, and it just popped in my head to see if I can make it happen. So it was my fault.
Okay. All right. So when is the next one?
So we're gonna decide what we're gonna do with it. I think right now the next Zoom meeting, or the next we might even do something in person. I would like to do the next Zoom meeting or something in person June 5th, but I'll get an exact date soon. I know it's like 2 months from now, but with summer and everything, I want to give everybody a chance to enjoy the good weather for the time being, and not everybody cooped in on Saturday nights at 7 o'clock when it's still daylight out. So
I have a chat for the skaters, so that when we do this, I can.
Yes.
So I will add you to it if that's okay, so you can have notifications when everybody gets the notifications.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. That'd be great. Nice
All
seeing
right.
you guys. Nice talking to you
Hey,
guys.
Patty. No, thank you.
Good to see you, girl.
Okay. Bye.
Take care.
Bye, Patsy.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
And now we have Rusty only. So Rusty's going to get tag teamed by 8 people.
Hey.
Wow, that's
Hey.
I'm sorry, you guys got an assist guy. I'm like a Scott Skiles or Scottie Pippen, or I'm like one of those guys. So.
Okay, so you just mentioned Scotty Skiles,
Yeah.
the ex-Bulls coach.
Yeah.
You know where he
He
went
used
to
to
high
play
school.
for the Magic back in the day.
Yeah, and
Did he
you know
play for the
where
Pacers too?
He was what?
Didn't he play for the Pacers too?
I don't know, but I met him a couple times. He was an asshole. Excuse my French, both times.
Well, that's what people from Plymouth, Indiana are like.
Okay, cool. Yeah, great.
Plymouth's about 20 miles south of South Bend, so
Oh, all right. All right.
I'm sure I could get a hold of somebody that knows how to get a hold of him and let him know he's a prick to you.
Sure.
I've heard the stories. He's an asshole.
No,
It's
he
okay.
is. He really is. I've been genuinely nice to him because I was a fan. I mean, at one time in the NBA, he held the all-time assist record. But that got surpassed. But I met him in downtown Orlando one night and said, "Hey, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah." And he just told me to get the F away from him. I was like, okay, great. Have a great night. Cool.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
No, he was. He was.
Does not surprise me one bit.
Can I say, all 3 episodes that we've done, we've had something special. Tonight is the first time we've had 3 skaters representing both RollerJam and RollerGames.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Right.
nice.
We
Yeah,
had
about that.
Ray.
Making history.
Mhm.
We had Ray, Robles, Richard, and
Patsy.
Patsy, yeah.
and that's the first time we've had 3, you can say, captains or lead personnels of the, because Pats, until before Denise Snowden got onto the scene on the riots, she was the captain.
Right, the first when the riot first started, it
Yeah.
was
And Ray and took over as captain once Richard became
the
manager.
infield manager. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first time we've had, and Rusty, you, no matter what, right now you due to unfortunate circumstances, but you would be second in command for the Quakes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And Weber who came on for a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Listen, I have Slopey's number. I talk to Slopey like once a month at least, but I've been so busy, I haven't gotten in touch with him. I can get him on here if we have another one of these. I can get him on here, but he would definitely be one that would come to the reunion.
Well, we've been the most that we've gotten out of Slopey has been a cameo.
Yeah.
We got a flyby cameo from him, and that was from the first episode with Jen Matthews. She actually had him on the phone, and he was working, so he gave us a flyby cameo. So I tried to do that tonight. I did it with Jason. He was like, "Oh, I'm working." I'm like, "Hey, a cameo. We don't care. A cameo. You can just say hello."
Right. Kind of like Richard last episode when he was still at work, and then then he came on a little later as well last time. But it can be tricky. Like that first time you did the chat, I thought about dialing into it from work and then just not just having my name up so people at work didn't know I was doing it. But it got a little too crazy at work to try and pull off something like that. But
I'm still in touch with Amy Craig too, and I could probably get her on here.
I was in touch. I have been in touch with her this whole week, and she told me, "I'm gonna put it on my calendar." Okay, just remind me. Okay, I've reminded her, and she. But I don't look like I used to. I'm like, okay, we're all adults.
None of us.
Oh,
do.
I look great.
No.
I look great.
I mean, Rusty's the best looking one out of all of us, and I mean,
That's because we can't see him right now.
Hold on, stand by. I'm texting somebody. Hold on.
Okay.
Is it a
Sorry
scare?
about that. Yeah, I'm the
No
best
worries.
looking guy. I mean, dude, I should be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I mean, look at this guy.
Sports
Hold on, let me
Illustrated
see.
for-
Let me see. This side
Dude.
or that side? What are we doing? All right.
Okay, so is it Sports Illustrated for the best lookalike of Butterbean?
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you. I got it, Nick. All right.
Monster Bill, you might end up like Bart Gunn.
Oh God.
Knock the fuck out.
Badly.
The
Badly knocked
moment
out.
literally, you could see the moment that guy's career imploded.
I can tell you this: every suit that I own, I don't wear a tie because the shirt that I buy that fits my body does not button around here, and I'm sure Alan has the same problem.
Yeah.
I look like Dana White on my suits. I just wear like an open collar suit. I just you can't do it, man. I
Okay,
won't
so
wear a tie.
you look like a chubby Dana White, or a
Pretty much, yeah.
or a
5'7", 240. That's If Dana White looked like that, yeah.
okay, or as I said, a short Butterbean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but my gut's not that big.
And I'm sure you could.
What happened to? Speaking of, whatever happened to him, to Butterbean?
Oh, he got old.
They did another good Dark Side of the Ring episode about that. They just interviewed him for the
Brawl for All.
The Brawl for All. They did another good Dark Side of the Ring episode where they talked to him about it, and how Vince McMahon told him, "Yeah, knock him the fuck out at WrestleMania 15."
But
Believe it or not, Butterbean actually fought in Pride Fighting Championship before it went under.
Yeah, he went to Pride. He went to Pride Fighting and did mixed martial arts, but I mean, he didn't know how to wrestle. All he knew how to do was sit on people and make them choke to death.
And
you notice there was crickets for that fat joke. Come on, guys.
Oh, I'm all right. I don't care. I'm fat. It's cool.
I didn't call you fat. I'm calling Butterbean fat.
Oh, you don't have to, bro. I look fine until you try to put me back into that RollerJam unitard, and then that would show my true appearance.
We could probably cut the recording now because might as well.
So yeah, it's only like 4 of us on there. So,
and Rusty.
There's 10 of us.
That's 10. Oh.
9 if you're including 10 if you're including Cindy, who's been on mute for the last 4 hours.
She's in a party. She's guzzling them down.
All the credit for at least, again, making a cameo. But
I'm waiting to see if we're going to get Lindsay back on.
Yeah, that's like, you wonder if she's...
Another one we've had, so this one we had 3 new people. We had Delgado, we had Robles, and we had Sean Corbin.
Oh, Sean made it on?
Yeah, finally. Yeah, for a little bit.
Cool. How's he doing?
He's good. He looks the same, older.
Good.
Yeah, we were trying to like tell our best like roller rink stories where we misbehaved, and he was giving us jam penalties. And my famous 3 penalty box night. Didn't he just give me points for that instead of?
He gave you points for breaking through the couple.
Breaking the.
Yeah, he gave you. I think he gave you a penalty for doing
not getting the girl.
Yeah.
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 Did anybody see the Justice League yet? The new one, the Snyder cut?
Yeah,
not yet. I gotta watch the original one again because I barely remember it.
Do not watch the original. It's trash.
But Snyder cut though.
I want to see it for the differences though.
It's 4 hours long.
That's such a long movie. That's longer than The Godfather. Holy shit.
I think that's longer than 2 Godfathers, or close to it.
Is that before or after the Hope Train though?
These are the positives I would give. Stephen Wolf, much better design. They should have went with that design, this design that they have for him. Dark Side, Thanos, I think, had a better story arc. It was.
Who's that laughing in the background like a hyena?
I guess somebody didn't buy that. Somebody didn't believe what you said.
Cyborg got more of attention in this one. Cyborg is basically the star of the movie. The black suited Superman was. And the Joker scene was nice. I think
it was rated R also, right?
2 F-bombs. They dropped 2 F-bombs, literally, one by Cyborg, one by Batman.
So that's why it was rated R?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's hilarious.
Somewhere the guy who wrote Casino is laughing.